You should be able to stream it into the other room now. I mean, once it's going, I'll shut it down.
Okay.
Grandmaster. Most
Yes,
welcome,
sir.
Grandmaster. Do you
Yes,
want
sir.
me to unmute the entire cabinet? Any others?
We can, yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, all the past Grandmasters as well?
If you're registered for, yes, please, if you're.
Hey, Mays, move Ron Williams to the other room.
All right.
Also, gentlemen, all Master Masons will be moved to another room. Brother Cameron Foreman, are you a Master Mason? I mean, are you do you have an office, elected position?
He is a
No,
past
is that a
master.
no? He's a past master? All right, gentlemen, it's very important, since we're getting a whole lot of people on here now, to put your title in front of your name. If you are a past master, worshipful master, senior warden, junior warden, put your title in front of your name. If you're a Master Mason and hold no positions, put MM in front of your name.
Worship Master Tim Edwards. I have a Galaxy A10E that is not recognized. I have a Home and Joseph.
Okay, I'm searching. All right, we have Master Mason, Roland Banks, Robert and Terry Allen. I see them two in here still. Galaxy A10, Mike Chappelle.
Everyone with a MM in front of their name, they have been moved into the screening section.
I wonder if the HOLME is Albert Holmes.
All right, we have Master Mason, Roland Banks, Robert and Terry Allen. I see them two in here still. Galaxy A10, Mike Chappelle.
Everyone, wait a minute, with the MM in front of their name, they have been moved.
Remember,
You're
brothers,
screaming in the wrong room.
change the beginning of your name with your title.
My phone. Ted Burke.
Anthony Weaver just popped up, Robert Mays.
All right. Move him over. Yeah, I got him. I still got Home, Jetson, and Joseph without a delegation. Then I have one, oh, he got Grand Trustee, okay. Reggie Nevels. Sorry about that, Deputy Grandmaster. There you go.
Gentlemen, remember, you must have a picture up and not a stationary profile picture, because if once we start and we go live and we don't see you, you will be removed.
Brother Mays,
Yes, sir.
I still haven't been able to put my right wishful name up.
It's up there. We see it. Says
Oh, okay.
Right Worshipful Deputy Grandmaster. Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I got it done then. I'm sorry.
I did it for you.
Okay.
Senior Warden James Burke, you had your hand up.
Hello.
Never mind. I'm fine. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Pass Green.
Okay, hold on. I will have someone.
Do you see everybody else?
I can see everybody else,
Okay.
Tim. I still see
Okay.
Home, Holme, and Christian Campbell. District Deputy Eric Bell. Will you correct your name for me?
And then there's Joseph.
And Joseph and Christian Campbell.
Grandmaster, you have a hot mic.
Thank you. Hey, Joe Rogers. I was on the phone with Most Social Past Master Joe Rogers. He has a still picture up. He does not know how to change his name, and he probably needs someone to give him a call real quick.
Catch it. Oh, wait. Sorry about that, Pastor Grant Slate. You're now off.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an issue here and want to know if you could straighten it out for me. I have a informational page on my computer now talking about Zoom phone. And how can I get rid of that?
Do you see, is there an X? I'm not familiar with it. Do you see an X in the top right corner?
No, I do not.
Move your mouse up to the top.
It's all the
I'm
way
going
up
to
to the
send you
top.
something. I'm about to send you something. I want you to click on it when I send it to you, and I'll see you in another room. Give me a second.
Okay.
I can
Don Banks,
do it this way.
please change your title to whatever you are. If you're just a Master Mason, put Master Mason in front of it. If you are a past master or one of the wardens or the worshipful master, please put that title in front of it.
Hey, Worshipful Master Edwards.
Yes, sir.
Hey, past Grandmaster James Hill said he was having problems with his camera. I mean, his name is up there, but his picture. He called me and said, maybe if you can help him out.
Is he on here now?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I have a question. I see a Samsung GSM G90.
Well, no, it's got M.
Wait a minute, I can get with Hill in a second, but
Oh.
someone
Okay.
needs to change their name. If you do not have your name changed by 9:15, we will be removing you.
If you need help changing it, let us know.
He's next to you on my screen, Vince. Albert Holmes. What hold on, let me see what that says. Albert Holmes. Past Grandmaster. Okay. Thank you.
So you changing Albert?
You get him past Grandmaster Hill, James Hill. You should it should be a camera in the lower left-hand corner that says start video. Please click on that.
Kelvin Thompson, change the title of your name.
It is 9 o'clock, brothers. Yes, sir. I know. That's why I like being the host. I can do some of that stuff. Did I? Okay. All right. Hey, say it in the room so they all know. I'm fine with that. All right.
Gentlemen, you have 15 minutes to be in order.
So I gave a time of 9:15 and not 9 o'clock, so I apologize. 9:15. For some reason I was thinking 9.
Tony DeLosa, you're the junior warden over there, or a senior warden? Junior warden? There you go, Cornell.
So hard to find good help these days.
I swear. Jerry's iPhone is coming up. Jerry's iPhone. You need to change your name. I'm not sure if you hear me yet, but Jerry's iPhone. You need to change your name. Don Banks, what's your position?
Has anybody reached out to past Grandmaster Rogers? Do we know?
I have not.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm gonna call him now.
It is very important, gentlemen, that if you are a master mason and do not have a past master in front of your name, to put it there, because master masons will be moved to a different room. Jerry's iPhone, what is your position? What is your last name? That has to be changed. Type it in the chat, brother. If you can't, type it in the chat.
Apologize. I think we got past Grand Slay. He's together now. He should be right back in.
Does
Yeah.
anybody have past Grandmaster Hill's telephone number that we can give him a call, because his camera still is not up? Don Banks.
When you do roll call, we're gonna roll call all the lodges.
Don Banks, please put your name, your position in the chat.
Roster for lodges and
You still need
elected
past
appointed or
Grandmaster
elected
Hill's
Grandmaster.
phone number?
I'm gonna mute
Yes,
the
I do.
Grandmaster
Hold
while
on,
he's
let
on
me
the phone.
get my pen. I'm ready.
Corn.
317-345-1273.
You can't hear us?
No, you keep muting me, man. I can't unmute. So I'm gonna call Rogers. Somebody's gonna call Hill, right?
I got Hill. So
Hey,
I'm getting that deal.
Hey,
What?
Past
There.
Grand Morton, can you give me Past Grand Joseph Rogers number, please?
Yeah.
I thought I had it, but
I've got 219
Mhm.
887-4938.
4938 887-4938. Okay, calling them now. Thanks.
Or you are now co-host. You can go on and off mute. Let me see. Mhm. But Cornell or Corlin, we still have 3 people without a delegation in front of their names. It is home. I see one that just says iPhone. Oh, wait a minute. That's Jeff Bryant. He just left iPhone in front of his. I'll fix that right now.
Oh, okay. Hey, Bob, can you unmute Past Grandmaster Rogers when you get a minute? He needs to be unmuted as well. He's Past
I
Grand.
thought I had got him. I got
Okay. All right.
Fine.
Past Grand, we got you taken care of. We'll get you here in a minute. All right. Bye. Okay, Bob, is something you need me to do? Somebody you need me to reach out to?
We have several brothers. If you would look in the list,
Yes, sir.
it has, we have a few brothers that still have just one name and we don't know where they go.
Okay. Let me look. Did you hear me? I don't know if you heard me when I said I'm looking for those names. We need to make sure that when we start, District Deputy Rynell Griffey is unmuted. Past Graham, Worshipful Master Adams, Dr. Adams, because they're going to do the memorial service piece, prayer and that
Oh,
stuff.
okay. That's Past Grandmaster Albert Holmes, Tim. Or I'm sorry, Corlin.
Oh, is it Albert Holmes? Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, Corlin. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, Corlin. I'm gonna take care of it right now. I just realized why you.
Barry Spencer. Barry, you need to change your name as well. Add past master or district deputy in front of your name, sir.
I think Barry's a sitting worshipful master, so.
Oh, sitting. Okay, Grant. All right. Okay. Barry, can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. If not, I'll change it for you.
Corlin, you should be good to go. You can go now. You should be able to move. Past Grandmaster Donnie Johnson, you are now unmuted. You good to go?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And we unmuted past Grandmaster Joe Rogers, right? Bob.
I believe I got him. Let me check. Let me make sure.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Time check. I got 9:08. gentlemen. Holmes.
Yeah, Mays, I think I'm still muted here unless you just unmuted it just now.
I did. I was going through checking y'all status right now, and I just unmute you.
Okay.
There's a brother
So I
on
can hear
here.
you on the sit on the pew.
I'm sorry. There's a brother on here with the name Home, Holme.
Albert Holmes, probably.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's past Grand Albert Home.
Is that past Grand Holmes? Is that you?
No,
That's me.
Okay. Okay. We'll change your name.
I've changed it. I've already changed it.
You already,
You
my
want-
man. Okay,
you
I
see it?
unmuted you. Yep, I unmuted you, so you're good to go, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay.
Any other? Wait, I have one
Yep.
more down here.
There's one named James. There's somebody in here named James.
Okay,
I just unmute past Grandmaster McMurphy Hughes. You are now unmuted.
Oh, good.
Just for a reminder, all past Grandmasters, cabinet members, and Grandmaster, your mics are on. If you put yourself on mute, we have to take you off mute.
There's a brother on here named James. I'm not sure who that is. I just unmuted you. Brother, who is that?
Hey, Joe Rogers.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Oh, you too. Hey, hold on, past Grams. Wait a minute. Brother, there's somebody on here named James. I need you to change your name.
And turn your
Kane
camera
as well.
on, James.
Was that
And
James
turn your
Kane?
camera on.
Well, we have a James and a James Kane. Those are the last two.
Yep.
Grand Trustee Reggie Neville. Is he a past master?
Who, Reggie Nevels?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he is. Yes.
I'm going to change his name. He has Grand Trustee opposed to past master.
There's a brother on here with the name James. I'm asking again.
We have 4 minutes before we lock this room, brother.
It's probably James Kane. He's a past master from Lakeside.
Okay, I see James Kane. He's
All
in
right,
here.
I'll change him.
Okay, you got him.
Yep.
But there's somebody in here with the name James.
Just James right here. I'm gonna put him in front of everybody. So
morning, Joe.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, if you
brother.
have to go to the restroom, now is the time to go to the restroom, because if we see you gone, you'll probably get kicked out. So if you have to go use the restroom, now is the time to go use the restroom. We shouldn't be on here for a long time, but if you gotta go, you gotta go. You might want to go now.
You may have to excuse diabetics because they go on a regular basis, and I'm one of them.
We'll give you a 3 minute. We'll give you a 3 minute grace period, Pastor Grant. We'll give you a 3 minute grace period.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Brother James, we really need you to respond, because at this point, it seems like maybe there's an error. Maybe somehow
We
you
got
got
three.
into the
We
wrong
got
room.
three. Yeah, I agree. Just go ahead and get rid of them, Bob.
All right, say no more.
Gentlemen, I got 3 minutes. Is District Deputy Grand Master Ronell, has he been unmuted, him and Preston Adams, so we can get started when the clock strikes 9:15?
And we need Richard Watson to turn his camera on. Past Master Richard Watson, please turn your camera on.
Dr. Adams, your mic is now hot. We can't hear. You are open.
Thank you, brother.
Also, yours is open, is hot too, past Master Griffey. So be aware.
Gentlemen, I know we got a few live mics here, so I'm asking you, please distance yourself from the elections for at least a couple hours. If you're unmuted, please turn off your TV. I don't want to hear the presidential elections in my ear as we're going through this, please, and thank you.
Grand Secretary, I'll get you right now.
District Deputy Grand Master Griffey.
Yes, sir, past master.
All right, sir. At 9:15, the show is yours for the memorial service stuff, and you can introduce Preston Adams and what we're doing for the memorial service.
We're gonna give them till 9:15.
9:15. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 9:15.
You got a minute.
Got a minute.
9:13 right now, gentlemen. Soon as
somebody almost
9:15.
I tell you, somebody pressing their luck.
I will
trying to get in right now.
9:15.
Got 1 minute.
I'll announce that it's 9:15 and the room will lock, and we will be ready to get started.
Hey, Sykes, don't forget to give me that count as the meeting is going on once we lock the room, sir.
I'm taking care of it now.
My man, thank you.
Hey, McMurphy, turn your video down. All we seeing is your ceiling.
Are you seeing it what?
Now we see you. Thank you.
Senior Warden Willie Deloney.
Okay.
You have
15 seconds.
15 seconds. And then once this meeting starts, and if I don't see you shortly, you will be removed. Thank you, brothers. Don't be mad at us for us following the rules.
Gentlemen. It is 9:15. Most worshipful Grand Master. It's 9:15.
All right, sir. Ronell, the show is yours, sir.
Thank you, Past Master Morrow. Good evening, brethren. I do bring you greetings from the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge jurisdiction of Indiana, where the Honorable Eugene Anderson Jr. serves as our Most Worshipful Grand Master elect. We would like to take a few moments this morning to honor those fallen soldiers, members, brothers, and family members who have fallen amongst our ranks. So without further ado, I would ask Dr. Preston Adams III to lead us in an opening prayer.
Let us pray. Most glorious God, author of all good and giver of all mercy, pour down thy blessings upon us and strengthen our solemn engagements with the ties of sincere affection. May the present instance of mortality remind us of our approaching fate and draw our attention toward thee, the only refuge in time of need, that when the awful moment shall arrive, that we are about to quit this transitory scene, the enlivening prospect of thy mercy may dispel the gloom of death, and after our departure hence in peace, and in thy favor may we be received into thine everlasting kingdom, to enjoy in union with the souls of our departed friends the just reward of a pious and virtuous life. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Promote it be. Amen. At this time, we will have our Right Worshipful Grand Secretary, Brother Tyree L. McGraw, to announce those falling members.
Brother Vernon Johnson. Brother Brian Ratcliffe, Central Lodge, number 1. Brother John Aaron, Central Lodge, number 1. Brother Howard Fisher, Wilson Lodge, number 12. Brother Reuben Jones, Wilson Lodge, number 12. Brother Donald Weatherly, Wilson Lodge, number 12. Brother Jeff Lusk, Waterford Lodge, number 13. Brother Albert Fields, Trinity Lodge, number 18. Brother James Moss, Trinity Lodge, number 18. Brother James W. Terry, Trinity Lodge, number 18. Brother Lewis Gordon, Trinity Lodge, number 18. Brother Albert Fields, Trinity Lodge, number 18. Brother James Gaddis, Trinity Lodge, number 18. Brother Allen Connie, Floyd Lodge, number 23. Brother Harry Bacon III, St. Peter's Lodge, number 31. Brother Roosevelt Boyd, Peerless Lodge, number 32. Brother Jesse Collier, Peerless Lodge, number 32. Brother Tom Henry Lee Sr., Meridian Lodge, number 33.
My mic is gonna be on.
Brother Damon Wern, Meridian Lodge, number 33. Brother Joe Merriweather, Southern Cross Lodge, number 39. Brother James Tip Gaddis, Southern Cross Lodge, number 39.
Yeah. Since we're streaming live.
Hey, they can hear you. They can hear you.
Brother James Hughes, Southern Cross Lodge, number 39.
I have no idea. I have to ask him.
Brother Freddie Ewings, Keystone Lodge, number 40.
Okay. All right. You're welcome.
Brother Tom Yancey, St. Luke James Lodge, number 43. Brother Jeff Evans, St. Luke James Lodge, number 43. Brother Jeffrey Evans, St. Luke James Lodge, number 43. Brother Art Roberts, Peerless Lake Michigan Lodge, number 46. Brother Ezra D. Alexander III, King Solomon Lodge, number 57. Brother Kenneth Timmons, King Solomon Lodge, number 57. Brother Harold Jones, King Solomon Lodge, number 57. Brother Steve Driver, St. Peter's Lodge, number 31. Brother Robert Thomas, St. Luke James Lodge, number 43. Gone, but never forgotten.
Thank you, Right Watchful Grant Secretary. Brother, this concludes our memorial remembrance. We will ask once again that Dr. Preston Adams Jr., the third pastor, will you please lead us out in a word of prayer?
Let us pray. Grand Architect of the universe, we thank you for your presence with us at this hour. We ask your special comforting presence for the surviving family members of our brothers. In pain, may they find comfort. May their sorrow give way to hope. Be their strength, shield, and stay, O God. Deliver them from their distresses. Be with us as we seek to carry on with the effort of living in the midst of the loss of our brothers. Remind us, Father, that you, who have never abandoned us in life, will not abandon us in death. Keep us mindful of ways we can be of service to those family members. Help us to rejoice in the life they lived among us, even as we entrust their immortal souls into your keeping. In your name and for your sake, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Right Worshipful District Deputy Grand Master and Dr. Preston Adams for allowing us to remember our brothers for just a moment. Good morning, brothers. My name is Past Master Cornell Murrow, and I'm the very proud chairman of the tech team, as well as other titles, which we'll get into later. Before I introduce the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master to open our 164th annual communication, I was asked by the Grand Master to make a statement. I've gotten a couple calls, and so has he. If you notice in your upper left corner, it says that we are live streaming on YouTube. And the Grand Master, as well as others, want to make sure that we're not doing this. We're not live streaming over YouTube. This is a private channel that we set up. The only way that you can see that channel is to be in a breakout room. We set that up to differentiate the voting members from the non-voting members. So the non-voting members are over there in that room looking at a live stream of us, okay? So that's what that is. It's a private room on YouTube. No one outside of our order can see that, and no one can automatically join that room. You have to come in here first, and someone from the tech team committee has to move you to that room in order to see that live feed. So I just wanted to make sure I cleared that up. Okay, before we get started, if you guys will assist me in Pledge of Allegiance, Past Master Birch, if you can post our colors, please. Okay, brothers, with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Past Master Birch. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce a good friend of mine's, a great man who we all come to know and love in this order. I bring to you none other than our Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, Past Master Kenneth Washington, so he can open up our 164th annual communication. Deputy, the floor is yours, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
I declare this 164th grand session of the Most Wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge to be duly open and in order for business. At the same time, strictly forbidden any idle, immoral, or other unmasonic conduct whereby the harmony of the same may be disturbed, under no less a penalty than the bylaws prescribe or a majority of the brothers present may speak cause to inflict. I declare this lodge open. At this time, I bring before you the Most Wishful Grand Master of the Most Wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons, jurisdiction of Indiana, the Honorable Eugene Anderson Jr. Please receive him with respect.
Morning, brothers.
Morning.
Good morning, Grandmaster.
Morning.
Greetings to all. We will go ahead and get started. Right Worshipful Grand Secretary.
Yes, Worship. Yes, Grand Master.
Do you have the proclamation?
Yes, I do.
Please read the proclamation, sir.
Hey, Grand, before I get started, I got a question. I got a big blue line going across my screen that says a host has opened the breakout rooms. Do I just X that out or something? Could the tech team help me out on that?
Yes, just X that out.
Okay. All right. August the 14th, 2020, proclamation. To all Grand Lodge Cabinet officers, Most Worshipful Past Grand Masters, elected and appointed Grand Lodge officers, Worshipful Masters, Past Masters, Warden, and Brethren. Greetings. I, Eugene Anderson Jr., Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Free and Accepted Masons, jurisdiction of Indiana, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby declare that the 164th Annual Grand Communication will convene on Saturday, November the 7th, 2020, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. This annual communication shall convene until the completion of all business, but not later than 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the same day. Dress for the virtual session will be our Masonic dress, which is a black suit, white shirt, black tie, black shoes, black socks, minus the white gloves and aprons. Jurisprudence. All matters to be considered by the Jurisprudence Committee must be submitted by October the 9th, 2020, with copies to each of the following. Most Worshipful Past Grand Master Joseph Rogers Jr., 1600 West 53rd Avenue, Maryville, Indiana, 46410. Most Worshipful Grand Master Eugene Anderson Jr., 1434 Saracen Circle, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46239. Right Worshipful Grand Secretary Tyree L. McGraw Sr., 11350 Bear Hollow Court, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46229. Reports. All subordinate lodges must send their Grand Lodge annual report forms, which include annual returns, PH 101, voting credentials, PH 102, Grand Lodge tax, PH 103, membership form, PH 106, annual works and returns, PH 108, to Right Worshipful Grand Secretary Tyree L. McGraw Sr. at the address above on or before October the 9th, 2020. Copies of all the following reports should also be sent to the designated individual by October the 9th, 2020 as well. Annual Works and Returns, PH 108, Brother Michael Westbrook, 8224 Thorn Bend Drive, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46278. Voting credentials, PH 102, Brother Cornell Merle, 736 Point Drive, Avon, Indiana, 46113. Resolutions. Due to the uniqueness of the situation, no resolution shall be heard until our next grand communication. Voting and credentials. All registered members must have a current dues card. Current financial status will be verified against the annual works and return forms submitted by the subordinate lodges. All voting credentials will be held by the registration committee. All proxy votes must be registered and approved on or before October the 9th, 2020 by the Right Worshipful Grand Secretary Tyree L. McGraw Sr. Grand Lodge taxes are payable on January the 1st, 2020. Grand Lodge taxes are due and must be received on or before the deadline of October the 9th, 2020. Memorial service. Memorial service will be held Saturday, November the 7th, 2020 at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Dress for memorial service is the appropriate Masonic dress without white gloves and aprons. Registration fees. Registration for the annual communication will be $25. All registration forms and fees shall be completed and paid via the registration link that can be accessed on the Grand Lodge website, www.mwphglin.org. A convenience fee may apply. All worshipful masters, wardens, and brethren are duly summoned to register and be present on Saturday, November the 7th, 2020 at the official opening and roll call of lodges. All members, voting or non-voting, who attend the grand session must be registered. Take due notice and govern yourselves accordingly. This proclamation must be read at all official meetings. Fraternally, Eugene Anderson Jr., 33rd KYCH, Most Worshipful Grand Master, attested, Tyree L. McGraw Sr., 32nd Right Worshipful Grand Secretary. Grand Master, that concludes the reading of the proclamation.
Thank you, Grand Secretary. Grand Secretary, now that I ask that you do a roll call of lodges, followed by a roll call of officers.
Yes, sir. When I read this roll call of lodges, I need only the Worshipful Master, Junior Warden, or Senior Warden answer. Central Lodge number 1.
Brother Mays, will you unmute everyone so the masters can be able to speak, please?
This is Deputy Grandmaster that needs to come down for my screen. We need the list of lodges removed from the screen. Please stop sharing.
Central Lodge number 1.
Central.
One second, brother.
Is everybody unmuted?
They're about to be. Brothers, you can now unmute yourself when you hear your lodge called. You can unmute yourself when your lodge is called. Please put yourself back on mute after you respond.
Central Lodge number 1 present.
North Star Lodge number 3.
Hold on. Central Lodge number 1. What position do you hold in your lodge?
Central Lodge number 1, Worshipful Master Kelvin Thompson.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
North Star number 3.
Present.
What position do you hold?
Worshipful Master David White.
Prince Hall Lodge number 4.
Present.
What position do you hold?
Master.
You broke up. I didn't hear you. Did anybody hear him? I keep hearing a buzzing sound.
Senior warden.
Senior warden. Evansville Lodge, number 4.
Hello?
Present, Worship Master Antonio Bass.
All right, let me find you. Hold on.
Halcyon Lodge, number 7. Halcyon Lodge, number 7. St. John's Lodge, number 8.
I'm sending you a request to unmute right now. Oh, I'm sorry.
St. John Lodge, number 8. Wilson Lodge, 12.
St. John's Lodge number 8. I'm Junior Warden, Past Master Cameron Foreman.
Wilson Lodge, number 12. Wilson Lodge, number 12. Waterford Lodge, number 13.
Worshipful Master Timothy Edwards, present.
St. Mary's Lodge, number 14. St. Mary Lodge, number 14. Trinity Lodge, number 18.
Worship Master Jonathan Vincent, present.
Widow Sons Lodge, number 22. Widow Son Lodge, number 22. Floyd Lodge, number 23. Floyd
Past
Lodge.
Master Dwight Keller, trustee, Floyd Lodge number 23, present.
You say Worshipful Master?
Past Master.
I need only Worshipful Master, Junior Warden, or Senior Warden answer. Floyd Lodge, number 23. Quinn Lodge, number 28.
Worshipful Master Teray Conley, present.
Eureka Lodge, number 30. Eureka Lodge, number 30. St. Peter's Lodge, number 31.
Worship Master Barry C. Spencer, present.
Peerless Lodge, number 32. Peerless Lodge, number 32. Meridian Lodge, number 33. Meridian Lodge, number 33.
Senior Warden Clifford Barlow.
I need only Worshipful Master.
Past Master Ben Johnson.
I need only Worshipful Master, Senior Warden, or Junior Warden to answer.
All right, Senior Warden Clifford Barlow.
Golden Crown Lodge, number 34. Golden Crown Lodge, number 34. Southern Cross Lodge, number 39.
Worshipful Master William Jackson.
Keystone Lodge, number 40. Keystone Lodge, number 40. St. Luke James Lodge, number 43.
Senior Warden Paul Brown.
Lake Michigan Lodge, number 46.
Senior Warden Russell Gordon, present.
Lakeside Lodge, number 47.
President Jeff Bryant, Worship Master.
Worshipful Master?
Worship Master, yes, sir.
King David Lodge, number 53. King David Lodge, number 53. Stone City Lodge, number 54. Stone City Lodge, number 54. Fidelity Lodge, number 55.
Worshipful Master Ivory Dorson, present.
King Solomon Lodge, number 57.
President Past Master Charles Menard.
Oh, no past masters.
I need only the worshipful master, senior warden, junior warden of King Solomon Lodge. Are you here? Are you present?
Yes, I'm sorry. Worshipful Master Charles Menard.
Good job, Joe.
Sumner A. Furnace, Lodge number 61.
Worshipful Master Preston T. Adams III, present.
Steel City Lodge number 68. Steel City Lodge number 68.
Junior Warden, Past Master Sylvester Smith, present.
C.R. Richardson Lodge number 69.
Worshipful Master Amia K. Folston, present.
Grandmaster, that completes the roll call of lodges.
Thank you.
Excuse me. This is Junior Warden from Wilson Lodge number 12, Don Fisher.
Junior Warden from Wilson Lodge?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Grand Secretary, how many lodges do we have present? And how many lodges do we have no representation from either this Worshipful Master, Senior, and Junior Warden?
We have 20 lodges present. We have 10 lodges with no representation.
That constitutes a quorum. Please say that. Please say that form so I can see what lodges did not participate. Now, if you can do a roll call of the elected Grand Lodge officers.
Eugene Anderson Jr., Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Present.
Kenneth A. Washington, Deputy Grand Master.
Present.
William Robertson, Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden.
Present, sir.
Kenneth B. Jackson, Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden.
Present, sir.
Donald Suggs, Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer.
Present, sir.
Grand Secretary Tyree McGraw is present. Right Worshipful Grand Trustee, 3 years, Reggie E. Nevels. Right Worshipful Grand Trustee of 2 years, Lee Garrett. Lee Garrett, Right Worshipful Grand Trustee, 2 years. Jeffrey D. Mathis, Right Worshipful Grand Trustee, comes off this year. I thought I saw him on here. Is he unmuted? Jeffrey D. Mathis. Richard C. Watson.
Hold on, Tyree. Grand Secretary, I see Jeffrey Mathis on here.
I am on here. I am on here.
Okay.
My phone was muted.
Richard C. Watson, Right Worshipful Grand Mortuary Relief Trustee, 3 years.
Present. Grand Secretary, I see Reggie Nevels.
You see Reggie Nevels?
Yes.
Okay, you need to answer.
Did you give me Grand Secretary? This is Watson.
Freddie L. Jones, Right Worshipful Grand Mortuary Relief Trustee, 2 years.
Your lodge.
Freddie L. Jones.
You guys can unmute yourself. Okay, hold on. All right.
Well, now it is. Now I can unmute it. All right, thanks.
Grand Secretary.
Yes.
Grand Trustee Reggie Nevels is present, sir.
Okay. Freddie L. Jones. Daniel Payne, Right Worshipful Grand Mortuary Relief Trustee, 1 year. Wayne Harrison, Benevolent Foundation Trustee, 5 years.
I'm present.
James T. Kane, Benevolent Foundation trustee, 4-year. James T. Kane. Kevin Burris, Benevolent Foundation trustee, 3-year.
Grand trustee, this is James Kane. I'm present.
Kevin Burris. Anybody see Kevin Burris? John Ritchie.
Present, sir.
Michael Chabelle, Benevolent Foundation trustee, comes off this year.
Present.
Grandmaster, that completes the roll call of elected officers. I have Lee Garrett.
Got it. I got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Grand Secretary. Rules of the day. Past Master Jeffrey Peel.
Good morning, brothers. To the most worshipful Grand Master, most worshipful Grand Lodge jurisdiction of Indiana, Prince Hall affiliated, Honorable Eugene Anderson Jr., to the most worshipful past Grand Masters, to all elected and appointed Grand Lodge officers, to the heads of all houses, appendant and concordiate bodies, to all distinguished guests and visitors, to all worshipful masters, wardens, and brothers, good morning again.
Morning.
Just as in a actual Grand Lodge, the virtual Grand Lodge, rules apply. Please only speak when recognized. Obviously, we have the tech team that's working in the background to ensure you can mute or unmute yourselves. When I'm recognized, please only address the most worshipful Grand Master or the presiding officer at the time. Decorum and respect and timeliness is the order of the day. When recognized, please limit your comments, questions, or concerns to 2 minutes. And once again, we have the tech team in the background that will monitor that. You will only be recognized once on any given topic. The next part of our rules of the day may seem redundant because they were included in the communication and the meeting invite, and it really relates to our virtual meeting. Please, if the tech team has not muted all lines, keep your lines muted at all times. Please control any background noise when the line is unmuted. And do remember that this is in fact our Grand Lodge, so you should be in a secure location and is not for guests, visitors, family members. You can use your space bar to unmute yourself briefly. Your camera must be on at all times. The tech team has already announced that they will remove you from the room if you absent yourself. Please monitor on the Zoom at the bottom, your chat bar, in case someone is reaching out to communicate to you. All motions will be voted on via polling feature and will not be anonymous. Poll will be on the screen for only 30 seconds. All balloting of Grand Lodge positions will be held via polling feature, will be anonymous. The poll will be on the screen for 30 seconds. To be recognized to speak, you need to raise your hand. Use the raise hand feature in Zoom, which is again at the bottom in reactions. Most worshipful Grand Master, that concludes the rules of the day.
Thank you, sir. Now, you have all heard rules of the day. Let's make sure we adhere to those.
Hey, most worshipful Grand Master.
Yes, sir.
If you'll allow me to just make one correction, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't, and I may have typed that wrong for past Master Peel, but the raise hand feature, gentlemen, if you do need it, because we're asking that you use that feature, the raise hand feature is under the, if you click the participants button under on your screen, there's a raise hand button at the bottom of that. You can use that feature and you'll be recognized by someone from the tech team. Thank you, Grant. Sorry.
All right. Thank you. Again, we've all heard rules of the day. We shall proceed. Right worshipful Grand Secretary, Brother Tyree McGraw.
Worshipful Grand Master.
Are you ready for the minutes from our 163rd annual communication?
Yes, I am. Most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Free and Accepted Mason jurisdiction of Indiana. 163rd annual communication, July 25th through the 27th, 2019. Thursday, July the 25th, 2019. Grand Lodge Memorial Service, 7 p.m. The 163rd annual Grand Communication will open up at 8 a.m. Friday, July the 26th, 2019. Friday, July 26, 2019. 163rd Annual Grand Communication was opened in ritualistic manner by Waterford Lodge number 13 of Central District. The Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, Brother Kenny Washington.
Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Past Master Jeffrey Mathis, I believe that's who that was.
I would like to have you to entertain a motion that we bypass the reading of the last year's communication, which should have been sent out already.
Brothers.
Deputy Ted Birch, I second.
Brothers, you've heard the motion from Past Master Jeffrey Mathis, seconded by Past Master Ted Birch, that we foresee the reading of the minutes, forego the reading of the minutes from 163rd Annual Communication, and then we proceed. Any questions on the motion? Any questions on the motion?
Most Worshipful Grand Master.
All those,
Master Ted.
Past Master Siddle.
Yes. We did not receive those minutes from the last year.
I'll make sure we get one over there to you, Past Master Siddle. All those in favor, you should see something pop up on your screen. Well, any other questions on the motion? There be no other questions on the motion. You should have had something to pop up on your screen that you can click yay or nay. So all those in favor, click yay. All those that oppose, click nay. And then hit submit at the bottom of that form.
Did you do that, James?
Well, now you should have seen the results. It just popped up. All right. Obviously, the yeas have it. Motion has been carried. The next thing we have is our secretary report. Right, Worshipful Grand Secretary, you ready with the report?
Yes, I am, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Hey, I hear somebody's TV in the background. I'm going to ask the tech team to mute everybody except the Grand Secretary.
Tyree, you may be on mute.
Yep, we need to get him off mute. When he said mute everybody, he's only one.
He's unmuted.
Hold on, Tyree. I can't hear Tyree.
I can't hear him either.
He is he muted on his end?
Tyree.
Let me find him.
He's unmuted on the platform, so it's got to be on his end.
Yep, because I hear everybody else.
Tyree, please check your settings and ensure that you are not muted on your personal laptop or electronic device.
I'm calling them now.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, if he is experiencing a
we are going to move on to the treasurer's report.
All right. Yes, sir.
Grand Treasurer.
Yes, Worshipful Master.
Brother Donald
Grand
Suggs, if you can proceed with your report.
To the Most Worshipful Grand Master, the Honorable Eugene Anderson Jr., Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master Kenneth A. Washington, Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden William Robinson, Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden Kenneth B. Jackson Jr., Right Worshipful Grand Secretary Tyree McGraw Sr., past Grand Masters, elected and appointed Grand Lodge officers, Worshipful Masters, wardens, and all brethren assembled here today First, giving honor to God, through him all things are possible. I humbly stand here before you today, thanking the craft of this Grand Lodge for allowing me the opportunity to serve as your Grand Treasurer. While following the recommendations from this and previous audits, we are moving forward in a much better financial situation than in previous years. Even though revenue has decreased over this year, this Grand Lodge has cut expenses from the previous year. My report will show that all income and disbursements of Grand Lodge accounts have been reconciled. All books have been turned in for official auditing and have been approved. Humbly and fraternally, Donald W. Suggs, Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer.
Brothers, you have heard the report coming from the Grand Treasurer. What is your, already there. Brothers, again, all those in favor, I need a motion first. I apologize. I need a motion. Getting used to doing this virtually.
Master.
I can't see who it is, so state your name, please.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, this is Past Master Jeffrey Mathis, Southern Cross Lodge number 39.
Thank you.
So moved that the report coming from the Grand Treasurer, Brother Scruggs, Suggs, sorry about that, apologize, be accepted and turned over to the audit committee, I think.
Past Master Willie Wilson, Central Lodge number 1, second that motion.
Brothers, it's properly moved by Past Master Jeffrey Mathis, seconded by Past Master Willie Wilson, that the report coming from the Grand Treasurer be accepted and a copy turned over to the auditing committee, Are there any questions on the motion? Any questions on the motion? As we did previously, all those in favor, click yay. All opposed, click nay. Please click submit after you have done it, and we will see the results.
Worshipful Master, Grand Master.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I did have a question that just got unmuted. Are we going to see any of the figures referenced? I didn't see any numbers in this report. So that's odd to try and vote on a treasury report without numbers.
Because we turned it over to the auditing committee, and it is for the purpose of the auditing committee to review it all moving forward. However, those reports will be sent out to the lodges as well, Worshipful Master Folsom.
Okay, but I thought the report said everything had been reconciled.
That is correct.
That's not with the auditing committee?
The auditing committee did reconcile everything.
Okay.
Any other questions on the motion? I did not see the results. I was speaking with Worshipful Master Folsom. I believe it said 99-1. Yes, okay. Thank you. At this time, Past Master, that motion has been carried. Past Master or Grand Secretary, Tyree McGraw. Do we have the Grand Secretary?
Hey, Mays, can you unmute all lines maybe so we can hear Tyree so we can get through his report?
Fortunately, that he may be having a connectivity issue. What I was going to suggest to him was to refresh his system. It would take a brief, we wouldn't have to stop here, but I can see him over here, and when he goes out, I can put him right back in. But it would take me to open the door so that he could do that, because he's sitting there.
Yeah, I called him. He said he was unmuted, but it still was saying that it was muted, but we heard everyone else. So it's on his end, Grant.
Yeah.
Would it be plausible for him to just call in on his phone?
No, we don't have
that. Absolutely fine with that.
Tyree, can you call in if I shoot you the phone number real quick? I can't see him now. Branson, well, I'm calling. I got him.
Okay.
We'll get him in a second.
So Grant, I will go ahead with your agenda, and then once we get the Grand Secretary rectified, we can come back to him, sir.
Well, and the reason why I'm
you need the audit report.
Because the audit report.
Okay.
And I would want to hear
absolutely, sir,
the Secretary's report because of the audit report.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Okay.
Until then, well, until then, let's move forward and let's go to the a finals credential report. Let's do that real quick.
Okay, now it's working now.
All right, there it is. There we go.
Yeah.
Tyree.
Yes.
Grand Secretary, if you can go ahead with your report, please.
All right.
Hey, let's dispense of the to the most worshipful Grand Master. We're good. Let's
Okay.
just go right to our report.
All right. Although vastly improved, the issue with checks received at the Grand East as being legible and noting what accounts the check should be applied to has greatly improved from past years. This ongoing improvement has assisted the Grand Secretary with data entry into QuickBooks. The QuickBooks program is continuing to prove to be an access to our bookkeeping process. We have been able to use this program in a manner in which it was designed, which is to enter our accounting and financial information accurately and sufficiently. To this date, all income received and payments to and from the Grand Lodge in QuickBooks correctly. To continue successful record keeping, this process should remain in place. Over the past few years, the new forms were created to simplify the calculation of various forms, i.e. tax and reporting the membership of subordinate lodges, information that is currently being provided to Grand Lodge. All lodges are now using the new forms, which are located on the Grand Lodge website and can also be mailed to your lodge by making such requests to the Grand Secretary. The feedback from subordinate lodge secretaries continue to be positive. I would like to recommend, as the lodges elect new secretaries, we set up communication between the Grand Lodge and the subordinate lodges to make sure that forms are completed correctly. Some inconsistencies were identified on forms submitted. The Grand Lodge will notify any lodge that overpaid or underpaid. I would also like that all 30 lodges met their obligation to the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge jurisdiction of Indiana by paying their taxes in full for a total of $49,849.50 this year. Vouchers 254 dated 7/1/2019 through vouchers 2757 dated 7/20/2020 for a total of 218 vouchers. The total amount of vouchers is $64,451.41. A total of 17 vouchers were written from the mortuary relief account. Vouchers 176 to 192, totaling $5,100. A complete and thorough audit of the Grand Lodge financial record was conducted July the 1st, 2019, June the 30th, 2020. The items audited were the Grand Secretary's voucher book, the Grand Treasurer's check books, all Grand Lodge credit card statements, and all Grand Lodge books statement itemizing each account. A copy of the Grand Lodge audit will be provided or read for your review. In June 2020, Grand Lodge closed its American Express credit card account and have now consolidated all bank and credit card accounts with Fifth Third Bank per the request of the Financial Committee. Repairs have been made to the Grand East located at 5605 East 38th Street, i.e. the front window was replaced. We remain victim of theft as the air conditioning unit was stolen during the summer of 2020. This incident was reported to the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. Per our agreement from our last communication, this facility is currently for sale. Due to the unforeseen COVID-19 pandemic, we are taking precaution to enhance the safety of our members and loved ones by only allowing limited access to the building. The Grand Secretary has always been and will remain available during the unprecedented times. Most Worshipful Grand Master, this concludes my report.
Brothers, you've heard the report coming from the Grand Secretary. I'll have you.
Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Past Master, I believe that was Ahmad Perry.
I move that we accept the Grand Secretary's report and be filed in the archives of the Grand Lodge.
Michael Chappelle, I second.
It's been properly moved by Past Master Ahmad Perry. It's been seconded by Past Master Ron Sweat and Michael Chappelle that the report coming from the Grand Secretary be received and a copy turned over to the Audit Committee Be turned over to the audit committee. Any questions on the motion? Any questions on the motion?
Grandmaster, just for a point of reference, shouldn't all that the treasurer and his secretary said that be pending audit? Be accepted.
It should be. You are for the record. The audit has already been done, but we still turn a record over. We still turn a copy back over to the audit committee to retain, as well as placing one in our archives. So it can't pin the audit because the audit has already been performed. But it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. You can put the screen up again. Any other questions on the motion? There being no other questions, all in favor, hit yay. All opposed, hit nay, and then click submit, please. The yeas have it. The motion has been carried. Past master for the audit report, it would be past master Dwight Benjamin, who chaired that committee. Past master Benjamin is dealing with the death in the family. Our prayers go out to him and his loved ones. Past master Philip Melton II served on that committee. Past master Philip Melton, are you ready, sir?
Yes, most worshipful Grand Master, and thank you.
Please proceed with your report.
The report of the Financial Committee. We are pleased to present our report for the financial period of July 2019 to June 2020. Financial Committee members and attendance. The Financial Committee consists of the members listed here under and should meet at least one time per financial reporting period as per its approved terms of their appointed positions. During the current year, 3 meetings were held and attendance was as tabled. Name of members: past master Dwight Benjamin, appointed November 2nd, 2019. Number of meetings attended, 2. Financial chairperson, past master Philip Melton II, appointed November 2nd, 2019. Financial committee member, 2 phone conferences. Financial committee responsibility. We're reporting that we both had initial meetings and/or phone conferences due to the coronavirus disease, social distancing regulations with the most worshipful Grand Master Eugene Anderson.
Grand Master.
Past Grand Master McMurphy Hughes.
I said, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
You can't see who? I don't know where the report just went.
Mac, we got to fix you after this report. We'll take care of you after this report. Go ahead, Phil. Past Master Melton.
Financial committee responsibility. We're reporting that we both had initial meetings and/or phone conferences due to the coronavirus's social distancing regulations with the most worshipful Grand Master Eugene Anderson Jr. prior to the committee meeting on August 5th, 2020. We further report that our affairs have been conducted in compliance with the expectations of the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Indiana.
Hold on, Phil, past Master Melton, I apologize for this confusion. There are 2 reports. So past Master Melton's reading one, but that is not the report that's up on the screen. There goes the report that you were reading, past Master Melton. So I apologize.
Okay. Thank you, most worshipful Grand
Yes,
Master.
sir.
We further report that our affairs have been conducted in compliance with the expectations of the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Indiana during our internal financial review. In addition, we are satisfied that the Grand Lodge Financial Secretary and Treasurer are operating effectively and will address the risks pertinent to the entity and its audits. The internal audit completed on August 9th, 2020 is approved by the Financial Committee. Accordingly, we can report that the financial checks and voucher system of internal control over the reporting period under review was efficient and effective. Valuation of financial statements. We have reviewed and discussed the audited annual financial statements to be included in the annual report and recommend that the Grand Lodge American Express credit card have a minimum of no less than $25 transactions. Since the committee's last audit report, the Grand Lodge has since closed their American Express line of credit on June 5th, 2020, bringing the total balance to $0. We have recognized that the most worshipful Grand Master has used his own credit from accrued airline points to offset cost of Grand Lodge business and recommend he begin to back away at his discretion and the Grand Lodge fund his trips that are in line with Grand Master and jurisdictional responsibilities. During this reporting period, the Grand Lodge of Indiana has funded the most worshipful Grand Master's business trips for the jurisdiction of Indiana, which have been reduced and or minimal due to the coronavirus disease. Financial statements from Fifth Third Bank for the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge Free and Accepted Masons during this audit period reads as follows. Beginning balance January 1st, I'm sorry.
Because you have to give your, they got to get back in before you give your report.
January 1st.
Grandmaster, I can hear you, but I can't see you. I am muted.
I got it. Please keep going, Phil. Mac, they're going to take care of you. Please keep going, Phil.
Beginning balance, January 1st, 2020, $38,661.50. Ending balance, June 30th, 2020, $40,747.20. We continue to encourage the Grand Secretary and Treasurer to continue completing financial vouchers immediately after Grand Lodge checks are written for any bill transactions, i.e. bill, mortuary relief, financial tuitions, etc. Fraternally, Past Master Dwight Benjamin, Committee Chairperson, Past Master Philip Melton II, Committee Member. That concludes my report, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Brothers, you have heard the report coming from the Audit Committee. What is your pleasure?
Most worshipful Grandmaster Ron L. Griffey move that the report coming from the Financial Committee be accepted and turned over to the archives.
Past Master Michael Chappelle, I second.
Brother, it's been properly moved by Past Master Ron L. Griffey, seconded by Past Master Mike Chappelle, that the Audit Committee be accepted and a copy placed in the archives for future reference. At this time, are there any questions on the motion? Any questions on the motion?
Grandmaster.
Sir.
Worshipful Master Amia Foss and C.R. Richardson. I'm just curious. I think they were going through two reports. What was the beginning balance in July? I think that was in the report covering 2019.
Can you, hey, Phil, can you go through, as a matter of fact, Ted Birch, you should have both reports.
Albert home calling me. I don't know what he wants.
Hey, I need somebody to mute Mac, please.
I do have both reports, Grandmaster.
Can you please pull up the report? I'm going to say the first report that I believe Phil was reading, that Past Master Melton was reading the first time?
Yes, sir.
I can't see. What do he want? Huh? Oh.
Tech team.
Grandmaster, we have muted him. He keeps unmuting himself because we've left it open. In order for that to stop, we have to turn that back off. You're on mute now, Grandmaster.
So, Worshipful Master Folson, we're going to send you and all lodges a copy of all audits, Secretary Treasurer's reports. The biggest thing is that the Secretary and Treasurer reports checks that were written match the voucher. The checks that were written from the Treasurer match the voucher number from the Secretary. And I was not able to know if we answered your question as related to the first balance
Yeah, they showed the report, but I didn't
Okay.
see it in there, but I'll follow up offline.
Okay, please do. Please do. I want everyone to know how important it is for our finances. We must conduct internal audits. We did 2 over the previous year, and we will continue to do it. Those at that point are turned over to the CPA. Due to COVID-19, we have had some severe problems as it relates to everyone's taxes. And I'm talking about corporations outside this organization. All those books have been turned over back to outside. We did internal audit to an outside auditor the CPA will relinquish all those back to us again and conduct our taxes as well. So are there any other questions? Because we have a motion on the floor. Are there any other questions? There being no other questions at this time, I need to poll. We need to take a vote. We need yays and nays. As previously, you choose to accept the report, yay. If you do not, nay, and then hit submit, please. As we wait on the results.
Grandmaster, once the results come in and you carry this motion, if you would give me the floor for a moment, please.
Yeah, we are waiting on it to come in.
Okay.
As you can all see it was 100%. Yays have it. At this point in time, motion has been carried. I turn the floor back over to past master Cornell Murrow.
Thank you, most worshipful Grandmaster. Brothers, there's a few people having some issues, some technical difficulties. It's not on our end. It's not a Zoom thing. As you can see, all the rest of us are working fine. But in order to accommodate some people that are having issues, like past Grandmaster McMurphy Hughes, Tyree may need to do it. We have gotten permission from the most worshipful Grandmaster to unlock the room momentarily so you can reset your Zoom. You don't have to reset your computer. What that basically means is just get out and come back in, okay? That'll refresh your session, and then it's like you're starting fresh. So Mac, hopefully you can hear me. We need you to do that, and we're going to take a pause, not really even a pause, but we're going to have the room unlocked momentarily. And once we get everybody back in, then we're going to lock that room again before we take our nominations and before the Grandmaster gives his address, and we proceed on.
We are going to go ahead and continue while that is all taking place.
Absolutely,
not to belabor our current session.
You need me to do a math, seems like it's working fine.
Open.
You're fine, Tyree, please. You're good. You're good. If you're working fine, that doesn't mean everybody leaves. It's only for those who are not working properly.
Correct.
Past Grandmaster McMurphy Hughes, please log out and log back in.
Hey.
Worshipful Master Curtis Hairston, same thing. And any other brothers that are experiencing any difficulties, log out and back in. The door's open for 60 seconds. Shouldn't take but 30.
Gentlemen.
Tim, yes, sir. Worshipful Master
Yes, sir.
Edwards.
For those that do not have a camera on, I have been chatting with you. You have 1 minute to turn your camera on, or I will remove you.
Again, that is for security, brothers. That is for security. With that being said, as we continue to move forward, a report that wasn't in the agenda that we definitely need is the Benevolence Foundation report. I believe is that past Master John Ritchie?
Yes, sir. Are you ready?
I am ready, sir.
All right, Grandmaster, I'm going to give you a expedited report from your Centennial Benevolent Foundation. As of June 2020, really this is going to be as of August 2020. Last year at the Grand Session, your Benevolent Foundation Fund had a total of $132,228.36. These monies are in the Key Bank money market account. This includes the $10,000 that was sent from the Grand Lodge back into the Benevolent Foundation for payback of the indebtedness that from the loan that was taken out, I think in 2017, I believe it was, bringing that amount, the balance back to $55,000, which is still the loan balance. We are running right now approximately really, I don't think it's 1.76% because as everyone knows, you don't make any money on a money market account. The account states that we should have an annual income of approximately $2,333. I think it's a little bit less than that right now. But bringing as of August, the last statement that I have, the foundation balance is $132,315.07. We probably need to look at this as we have talked about this. Benevolent Foundation really has had approximately one meeting, and it's a phone meeting with the trustees because we still have some challenges to be able to move this account, and we need to look at this as soon as we can. But other than that, your money's safe. It's not making much, but it's not costing us any money to have it in there. So this is my report.
All right, brothers, you've heard the report. You've heard the report coming from Past Master John Ritchie. What is your pleasure?
Grandmaster, I so move that the report coming from John Ritchie be accepted, turned over to the archives.
You've heard the motion. Any other brothers? You will need to unmute yourself if you plan to second it.
I second that motion.
It's been properly moved. Brothers, it's been properly moved by the Right Worshipful Grand Secretary, Brother Tyree L. McGraw Sr. It's been seconded by Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster Theodore K. Millard Sr. that the report coming from the Benevolence Foundation be accepted, a copy placed in the archives, and distributed also amongst the lodges for their review. Any questions on the motion?
Most Worshipful Grandmaster.
Yes, sir.
I just want to know, with that report, are we going to also receive a written copy of that?
You will.
That's my question. Thank you, Most Worshipful Grandmaster.
And let me address that question by saying the only reason why it was not written is because me, the Grandmaster, failed to get it in and get it on this committee, to be honest, to get it put up on screen. I missed this committee, so I apologize for that. Any other questions on the motion? No questions at this point in time. Let's take a vote. All those in favor would be yay. All those opposed will be nay. Click whichever you prefer and hit submit. As we wait on the results, I am going to ask Past Master, the yeas have it 99-1. Motion carried. I'm gonna ask Worshipful Master Amia Folson to join the audit committee. So Amia Folson, Worshipful Master Folson, I'm gonna place you on an audit committee so that you have complete transparency like I want the entire jurisdiction to have. So it's not punishment. It's just an opportunity for we can get other individuals to vote, to have participation in this.
Understood,
Thank you, sir. Before we go any further, I want everyone to understand something. In many years or over the years, we have not had worship masters need to focus on their lodge. I respect that. I understand it being a past master. I know what it was like as worshipful master to govern a lodge. In order to bridge the gap between the subordinate lodges and Grand Lodge, we need participation within the lodges. I'm going to ask when this session is done that we start looking at worshipful masters sitting on a committee. That doesn't mean that they're going to work the entire committee or work it by themselves. That's not what it means. It means that we have transparency throughout the subordinate lodges and we have engagement from the worshipful master so that we're taking this information back to the craft. So that is the intent of this grand body moving forward. So again, worshipful master Amia Folson, I sincerely appreciate you volunteering to serve on that audit committee. That being said, I did not have another committee. I did not have another financial committee. Past Master Cornell Merle, do you have the credentials report?
I do, Most Worshipful Grandmaster.
Could you give that, please?
Yes, sir. And before I do this, brothers, I'm gonna give you the numbers that we have in the room. But just be mindful that our voting strength may be different than what you see on the screen, because some of us, like Brother Robert Mays is probably logged in, so he can cast his vote. Some of us co-hosts, we can't vote. And Brother Corlin Kilpatrick is in this room as well. He is not a voting member, but he is a member of the tech team, so we need him here. So that's where your numbers may be off on the screen. Okay, all right. We have 16 worshipful masters, 12 senior wardens, 9 junior wardens, and 67 past masters with a voting strength of 104. To get the majority, it would be 53. But keep in mind, brothers, our numbers may be off because of who's in the room and who's voting at the time. Co-hosts don't vote. So that completes your final credentials report, Most Worshipful Grandmaster.
Thank you, Past Master Cornell Merle. Being ever mindful of our environment, as I put a can to my mouth, I want people to see that is Mountain Dew. That is Mountain Dew. Being ever mindful. With that being said, at this time, sir.
We have a question by Past Master Johnny Wade.
Yes, sir.
Grandmaster, I just want to verify the total voting strength. Did he say 103 or 104? Because my number's coming up with 104.
I thought he said 104.
I said 104.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for keeping me honest, Johnny.
Wait, we got you in the minutes. Thank you. With that being said, at this time, I am going to go to the Grandmaster's address. I am deviating from the original agenda that went out because you should hear the Grandmaster's address prior to any nominations. Financials are extremely important, obviously, but I'm gonna go from there to the Grandmaster's address. I ask that you brothers, please mute your, hey, what screen do you guys have me on? Because I can't move this and my address is right here in front of me. I need to come off of this YouTube screen.
What exactly do you mean? What you mean? Do you want to see your address in front of you?
Yes. I hate this.
District Deputy Birch, Ted Birch.
Yes, sir.
He's ready for the address to be displayed.
Okie dokie. Display, Grandmaster.
All right. Grandmaster's address, Saturday, November 7th of the year of 2020 to the Most Worshipful Past Grandmasters, Right Worshipful Deputy Grandmaster, Brother Kenny Washington, Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden, Brother William Robinson, Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden, Brother Kenneth Jackson Senior, Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer, Brother Donald Suggs, Right Worshipful Grand Secretary, Brother Tyree L. McGraw Senior, past Grandmasters, all elected and appointed Grand Lodge officers. To my fellow conservators of Masonry and visitors who honor us with their presence, to all of the worshipful masters, past masters, wardens, and brothers who comprise of this Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Free and Accepted Masons, jurisdiction of Indiana, Prince Hall affiliated, greetings. So Ted, I like to read near the top, so I need you to scroll up a little bit, brother. Thank you. As I sit here gazing into a computer screen, it is only by the grace of God that I am able to render my address and provide a report of stewardship for my previous Masonic year as the Most Worshipful Grandmaster. I humbly and respectfully greet each of you to this, our 164th annual Grand Communication. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Romans chapter 12, verses 16 through 18, the New International Version. Brothers, harmony be in support of all institutions, especially this one of ours. Let us take heed of this scripture from Romans and embrace our Masonic tenets of charity and brotherly love. Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain, please invoke the blessings of deity upon this 164th annual communication. That is as Worshipful Master, Worshipful Master, Seminary Furnace Lodge number 61. I'm drawing a blank.
Preston Adams,
Yes,
Adams,
sir.
Grant.
I'm here.
Can you please invoke the aid of deity for us?
Yes. Brothers, let us pray. God, we ask your presence now. Continue to reign upon us and give us clarity and continue to give us peace as we navigate this platform. We thank you for the opportunity to gather in this place.
Next time, I
Honor
want to
your
do
work
it
and your name.
because the
And we
view
pray
I
in
have
the
is
Spirit
blocking
in
it.
the Son's name.
I can't move it.
Amen.
Please do. All right.
Master, you're not on mute.
Gentlemen, we're gonna take we're gonna break here for a minute. The Grandmaster needs to be able to maneuver his own allocution as it is lengthy. So Most Worshipful Grandmaster, you say on your screen you see what you
You guys across the upper top left-hand corner, I just see live YouTube screen. I can't minimize this to move it out of the way. It's like it has my entire screen. So I can't minimize anything to move this out of my way to see the screen so I can read my report off of it.
So you're on a computer, right? So
Yeah.
do you have it up on, I mean, not on versus a phone, not on, so you have it up in a separate, like in a Word doc or the PDF?
Yep, I do.
So why don't you Alt Tab to that screen? You hold the Alt key and Alt Tab over to your screen, to the screen that has your report on it. Hold the Alt key and hit the Tab key. And your report should be one of the windows that you have open. Are you seeing it?
Do now. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, sir.
I apologize, brothers.
Just for the record, user error. Just for the record.
Absolutely, absolutely user error. That's why we have a tech team. We all specialize in something. State of the nation. Make sure I'm where I need to be. Brothers, I'm gonna start here. Brothers, harmony be in support of all institutions, especially this one of ours. Let us take heed to this scripture from Romans and embrace our Masonic tenets of charity and brotherly love. Right Worshipful Grand Chapter rendered the prayer for us. So, state of the nation. In December 2019, Wuhan, China emerged from relative obscurity to become a household name. As reports of a cluster of pneumonia cases of unknown cause came forth, by January of 2020, the World Health Organization had declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. We even saw the first confirmed case in the United States. And by March of 2020, the outbreak was recognized as a pandemic, bringing many countries, including the United States, to a halt as they attempted to combat the virus and to flatten the curve. Social distancing, proper hand washing, use of face masks, and self-isolation are things that were not the norm last year, but have become commonplace as society seeks to find a new normal. State governors have issued stay-at-home orders. K through 12 schools and even colleges and universities have shifted to virtual learning. Essential worker is a new term has entered our daily nomenclature. Corporations have shifted to remote work status for many of their employees. Many businesses, however, were first to close seemingly on a temporary basis. Yet, some were not able to weather the storm and have closed their doors forever. This also meant that many people were out of work for several weeks on furlough and others have lost their jobs entirely. The video of George Floyd's death at the hands of the police in Minneapolis triggered protests around the world. It brought renewed attention to the high-profile deaths of Black Americans during the past decade and ongoing concerns about systemic racism in the criminal justice system. Contrary to what many people would have you believe or have us to believe, what our nation is experiencing is not an aberration. The politics of Trumpism and fake news are not new. They are as old as the nation itself. The very same playbook has been used over and over in this country by those who seek to exploit racial sentiments and anxieties for political gain. We now have a president who embraces the rhetoric of white nationalism and who openly stokes racial animosity. We're now living in an era not of post-racialism, but of unabashed racialism. Yet, there are signs of hope. The range and depth of the response to the brutal murder of George Floyd is a clear sign that growing numbers of people are beginning to see how the politics of white supremacy has persisted and created new systems of racial and social control. Furthermore, we are not willing to tolerate or encourage evil in our society, especially against African Americans. These latest episodes of injustice have forced a deep reckoning across society. Corporations are pledging to combat systemic racism in their companies. Some cities are considering proposals to eliminate police or reduce funds to police departments. Some activists have renewed calls to remove Confederate monuments, with some even toppling the statues themselves. With the increased focus on social injustice, there's a role for each of us. We must call out injustices when we see them, no matter how great or small. If we don't, whatever progress has been made with the new focus will be lost. And Dr. King's dream from almost 60 years ago will continue to elude us and society. This week, we thought maybe, even hoped, that we would see an end of the 2020 presidential election. It was a year in which the Democratic Party saw a historic field of 29 major political candidates, including 7 people of color and 6 women. This was the largest field of candidates for any party in almost 5 decades, and has been referred to as the largest and most diverse Democratic primary field in modern history. 12 years ago, our country made history by electing its first Black president. This year, it made history again. First, it was at the number 2 spot in the nomination of the first woman of color to be vice president on a major party ticket. Second, we saw a record turnout in voting with approximately 100 million votes cast prior to Election Day. Tuesday evening did not produce a clear winner, and now we all await the final count of the numerous mail-in ballots. As with most elections, some will be happy with the results and others will not. However, regardless of the outcome, we must harness the enthusiasm from this presidential election into future elections for state and local leaders. The struggle for racial equality and inclusion persists, and we must be ever vigilant. If we want change, we must be part of the change we seek. The deadline for responding to the current census was extended due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Historically, people of color are one of the most at-risk population groups in the census. We're either undercounted or not counted at all. We know that there are millions of people missed in the 2010 census and were referred to as omissions by the Census Bureau. It is important that as many people respond as possible because census counts shape decisions in our communities for the next decade, including federal funding for transportation, education, and healthcare. And perhaps just as important, it will be used to draw the boundaries that form congressional, state, and local political districts as well as determine the number of members each state sends to the United States House of Representatives. In these unprecedented times, we need to make ourselves count and not be an omission, such that we can impact our communities in a positive manner for the years to come. State of the state. The state of Indiana, in many respects, is a microcosm of our nation. We have not been shielded from the efforts of COVID-19 pandemic or social injustice. On March 6, 2020, Indiana health officials announced the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in Indiana, and Governor Eric Holcomb declared a public health emergency in the state. Less than a week later, we witnessed an abrupt end to the Big Ten men's basketball championships. I mention this not only because I'm a Big Ten fan, but also because of the economic impact that this decision made on and signaled for the city of Indianapolis. It seemed that this event foreshadowed what was to come for our state. On March 16, 2020, the first death from COVID-19 was announced. Governor Holcomb ordered all bars, restaurants, and nightclubs to close to in-house patrons and place the state under a stay-at-home order. Not a lot has changed over the past 7 months. As of now, Indiana has had over 203,000 confirmed cases and approximately 4,547 deaths. Amid the economic slowdown, social unrest began to grow. On May 6, 2020, we learned of the fatal police shooting of Drajon Reed, a 21-year-old man in the prime of his life. This was just 2 weeks after the George Floyd murder in Minneapolis. The streets of downtown Indianapolis filled with protesters demanding justice. Unfortunately, there were those who chose to turn a peaceful protest into something violent, inflicting destruction and damage to downtown businesses. Just as the presidential election has turned out to have historic implications, the Indiana governor's race is historic as well. Dr. Woody Myers became the first African-American nominee, Democratic or Republican, as a candidate for governor or lieutenant governor in the state. The presidential election brought out scores of voters, but not enough for Myers to overcome incumbent governor Eric Holcomb and the large-scale voter suppression tactics throughout the early voting period. Necrology. Brethren, the solemn notes that betoken the dissolution of our earthly tabernacle has once again alarmed our outer door. The grand architect of the universe has summoned 28 souls to a place where who's born no traveler returns. Their labor has ended, and the grand architect of the universe shall provide their just reward. May God have mercy on their souls and offer comfort to all those that mourn their loss. Personally, this year was extremely difficult for me. 3 of the brothers that weighed heavily on my Masonic career were lost. First, my cousin, Past Master Brian D. Ratcliffe, Sr. of Central Lodge Number 1. He is the person that pushed me to become a Mason. Initially, I had no interest at all, but Byron explained to me just what Masonry was about. Over time, Byron's influence persuaded me to seek out this order, which has now become so near and dear to my heart. Next was Past Master James Moss of Trinity Lodge Number 18. When I first met him, I felt Past Master Moss was mean in many ways, especially how he chose to speak to people. I thought him to be a well-educated rough ashlar. However, over time, and after getting to know him, I realized that he was truly a gentle man that did not want to relinquish any control or power to the younger generations until they have shown their worth. Last was Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster James W. Terry, also of Trinity Lodge Number 18. This is a person that sat with me and explained what being worshipful master of a lodge was about. He coached me on the bylaws and constitution and encouraged me to work within Grand Lodge. From worshipful master to Grand Master, he was a person I would call when I needed some advice and an unbiased opinion. State of the order. When we concluded the 163rd annual communication 15 months ago, we left with hopes and aspirations for a stronger, more unified jurisdiction for all Indiana Prince Hall Masons. And as one starts on any endeavor, there are certain expectations you have. But as we all know, plans do not always fall neatly into place, and often unforeseen circumstances occur. It is an understatement to say that 2020 has brought with it an aforementioned circumstances. As we look to become a stronger jurisdiction, we were dealt a devastating blow when the officers and members of Cornerstone Lodge turned in their charter. The shrinking of the jurisdiction is not what we wanted, but perhaps this action will make some of the remaining lodges stronger. But on a higher note, in October 2019, several brothers from across the jurisdiction came together to participate in the Indiana Prince Hall Day with the Indianapolis Colts. It was amazing to see brothers from throughout the state come together and represent the order on such a large scale. Many thanks go out to our Public Relations Commission for coordinating the event. In November 2019, Martin University announced that it was designating 5 $5,500 scholarships to the Prince Hall Masonic family. The scholarships are available to members, their children, and grandchildren. This is a great relationship that has begun to blossom between our order and Martin University. These were both great strides toward the goal of a stronger, more unified jurisdiction. And as 2020 ushered in a new year, we hope to continue the success that ended the previous one. In January 2020, we heard the first reports of what was called a coronavirus. As time passed, we learned that older adults and those with severe underlying medical conditions were more susceptible to it. Perhaps, not surprisingly, a large portion of our membership falls into these two groups. The Grand Lodge continued to monitor the developments of the disease and issue precautionary guidance. On March 20th of 2020, all Masonic activities were suspended. This was unprecedented. However, it was a necessary step to ensure the safety of our members. Unfortunately, this action was not received in the same manner that it was made. Perhaps there were those members who felt that the decision was premature and was possibly an overreach on behalf of the Grand Master. And as we soon saw with the cancellation of major sporting events, such as the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA basketball championships, and the suspension of the NBA and MLB seasons. Eventually, we saw the issuance of executive orders from the governor declaring a stay-at-home state for all but essential workers. Members seem to put their individual desires ahead of the collective safety of the craft. As every entered apprentice learns, we must circumscribe our desires and keep our passions in due bounds with all mankind. To be clear, brothers, as Grand Master, my number one priority during this pandemic will be to ensure the safety of the craft above all. While activities such as sheltering in place and remaining physically distanced between commonplace and necessary for our individual and collective health, they also worked in opposition to strengthening and unifying our jurisdiction as lodges could not meet and brothers could not convene together socially. These measures place considerable barriers on the operation of lodges. I'm sure that it was tempting for many to do nothing. However, as good Prince Hall Masons, we know that this does not bode well. As Winston Churchill is noted for saying, if you're going through hell, keep going. And that is what we did. As the health crisis continued to persist and evolved into a pandemic, we had to adapt to our new circumstances. This meant that we had to adjust our thinking with respect to how we interact and how we host events. The Grand Lodge responded to this, like many of you, by moving our events online to the Zoom platform. The first of these was our annual St. John's Day. Again, Dr. Preston Adams brought a powerful and moving word to the Masonic family. Next, there was a town hall event with the Grand Cabinet. Here, brothers got an opportunity to ask the questions that are important to them and to hear directly from the Grand Cabinet about the current and future state of the craft. And on August 30th, 2020, the Prince Hall Grand Lodge jurisdiction of Indiana did something that no jurisdiction had done before in conducting a Master Mason on-site event virtually. Over 60 men became Master Masons that day. But several received all 3 obligations that day. Obviously, there is still information that these brothers need to receive, and their respective lodge officers and members will be responsible for providing that to them. However, this was a momentous step for the jurisdiction. 1, we assisted lodges in bringing in new men to be sustaining forces within the participating lodges. 2, we showed the resilience of the order. Now, in a non-virtual setting, Grand Lodge also hosted what we hope will be its first annual 5K walk run. This event allowed brothers from across the jurisdiction to come together in a socially distanced manner for a healthy activity. The event was after several months of quarantine. So it served not only the physical health of brothers, but also their mental health, and that we got to be around one another, even for a brief moment. All of this shows that no matter what the obstacle put before us, we can overcome it. Now, I mention all of these things because I want each of you to know that in spite of the turbulent past 15 months, the state of the order is good. We have overcome some obstacles that we did not foresee and have made the best of our current situation. But the state of the order could be better. Brothers, we must do things right. We must do things the right way. And that starts with complying with the rules and regulations of our fraternity. Just this week, I had to place a lodge on probation for failure to comply with a summons from this Grand Lodge. If we are to be stronger and more unified, we have to live by the rules and regulations, but most importantly, our obligation. An additional item that needs our attention, and more specifically, a change in mindset, is the car raffle. The raffle is designed to provide financial flexibility to lodges. If executed properly, it will both provide the necessary funds for Grand Lodge to operate and alleviate the burden Grand Lodge taxes from the subordinate lodges. However, this only occurs if the tickets are sold. The car raffle was voted in by the craft at the last annual communication. After it was approved, brothers did not support it by selling tickets. And now several lodges are complaining about paying Grand Lodge taxes. Brothers, how much further along will we be if everyone got behind the car raffle? The car raffle can replace the scholarship raffle in that it would generate the necessary funds for Grand Lodge to operate and provide scholarships. Yet it is not designed to provide commissions to lodges for ticket sales. Lodges are too focused on the $1 or $2 that have come with selling scholarship tickets rather than focusing on the hundreds and in some cases thousands of dollars that lodges could save with a well-executed car raffle. Imagine this: if every Prince Hall Mason in the jurisdiction simply sold 12 tickets, the raffle would easily meet its goal. That's a little more than one book of tickets. Brothers, the path to financial flexibility is clear. The obstacle is us. We must change our mindset in order to change our future. The COVID-19 pandemic has given the jurisdiction an opportunity to do. Due to shifting the raffle into next year, we can course correct and place the car raffle in a proper perspective. Let's take this additional time to make the car raffle the success that we know it can be. As the jurisdiction looks forward, the Grand Lodge technology team is essential to the future successes during and after the pandemic. They have worked to overhaul the Grand Lodge website. It was sorely in need of a refresh. We now have a presence on the internet that we can all be proud of. And we'll continue to leverage the website more and more as a tool to disseminate information, to coordinate event registrations, and eventually to store and archive documents important to the jurisdiction. Additionally, think about the numerous events that I mentioned previously, and even this annual session. What would we be doing without technology? The technology team, in many respects, has resurrected the jurisdiction. The Zoom platform has provided a bridge to bring the new generation together with a more seasoned one. We can continue to interact in a physically distanced manner. Today, engagement in Masonic activities is as simple as a click or a phone call. The physical barriers that once prohibited brothers from attending meetings has been removed. If a brother is not engaged now, he is intentionally choosing to not do so. While the fate of the next several months is unknown, we do know that we have the strength and persistence to face whatever comes our way. I'm reminded of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward." Brothers, some days it will feel as though you are gaining incredible ground. Other days, it will feel as though you have not cultivated anything. These are the days when you can get effectively demotivated. You simply need to understand that persistent activity is superior to no activity. And as Dr. King said, you must keep moving forward regardless. The Grand East. The building remains up for sale with little to no interest. The current listing price is $160,000. A small parcel of land on the north side of the building, which was the front curb, totaling 75 feet, was sold to Indigo for $3,300. Public relations. I would like to thank this committee and all the members of the jurisdiction that supported our October 27, 2019 inaugural PHA Masons NFL event, which hosted the Indianapolis Colts versus the Denver Broncos. During this nationally televised game, we were afforded the opportunity to cheer the Indianapolis Colts onto the field. The Colts did win the game 15-13. Also, many thanks to everyone that participated in the Indiana Grand Lodge for the December 1st, 2019 game featuring the Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans. This event was enjoyable because we assisted in displaying the American flag on the field during this nationally televised game, and the Titans won that 31-17. Grand Lodge officers. To the Grand Lodge cabinet, I would like to thank each of you for your support of this jurisdiction. Each of you are a valuable part of this team. Continue to stay involved as we set new goals for the organization. Always remember, as leaders of this organization, the craft has a right to know where we stand on issues. Thank you to all the elected and appointed Grand Lodge officers who promoted the change needed in this organization to keep us moving forward. I appreciate each of you that took the lead as we ventured into a virtual world. The Zoom platform is new to our 164-year-old organization, but we need it in order to survive. Those officers and members who have embraced the change, I say with the utmost humility, respect, and gratitude. Thank you, sirs. Most worshipful past Grand Masters. This jurisdiction is very fortunate to have most worshipful past Grand Masters that are so involved. This year is unique. The unprecedented nature of this year is one that none can say, I did that during my time as Grand Master. We are all learning as we experience this pandemic together. I would like to thank each of you for your guidance and shared ideas. Most importantly, I want each of you to know that although we may not agree on everything, I sincerely value your interaction and input. Adoptive bodies. Oh yes, this past year brought a change in leadership when the individuals were elected to office in the Prince Hall Grand Chapter Order Eastern Star jurisdiction of Indiana. Prince Hall affiliated Sister Elaine Jewel James, Grand Worthy Matron, Brother Larry D. Brown, Grand Worthy Patron, Sister Dia Bell, Grand Associate Matron, and Brother Sean Pitts, Grand Associate Patron. It was business as usual until COVID-19 struck our Grand Worthy Patron, as well as his father. Brother Brown was hospitalized for a total of 78 days, with 54 of those days being on a ventilator. His recovery made local and national news. It is only by the mercy of God that our Grand Worthy Patron is still with us today. On October 24th of 2020, Prince Hall Grand Chapter Order Eastern Star, via Zoom, successfully conducted their 132nd Grand Communication virtually. The primary officers retained their stations. Appendant and concordant bodies. I am pleased to once again report that harmony prevails between ancient craft masonry and all Masonic houses in the jurisdiction of Indiana. It is my prayer that this relationship continues and that we come to be regarded as a shining example of great fraternal relations. Most excellent Grand High Priest of the most excellent St. Andrew Grand Chapter Holy Royal Archmasons jurisdiction of Indiana, Companion Larry D. Brown, Right Eminent Grand Commander Prince Hall Grand Commandery Knights Templar of Ohio and jurisdiction, Sir Knight B.N.T. Johnson, and Right Illustrious Deputy Grand Master of the most illustrious Prince Hall Grand Council, Royal and Select Master, State of Ohio and jurisdiction, Illustrious Companion B.N.T. Johnson. Scottish Rite. I would like to thank Sovereign Grand Commander, Sovereign Grand Inspector General Melvin J. Bazemore, 33rd, for his leadership and the well wishes extended to the jurisdiction of Indiana. I would also like to thank the Sovereign Grand Commander for his willingness in allowing me to chair and serve on several committees for United Supreme Council Northern Jurisdiction. In January 2020, I was able to attend the banquet honoring the Sovereign Grand Commander Bazemore, which was held in Detroit, Michigan. This banquet was very well attended from Orients all over the world. Keeping with his theme of enhancing the Scottish Rite experience, Sovereign Grand Commander Bazemore did not allow COVID-19 to halt the United Supreme Council Northern Jurisdiction. In fact, he thought outside the box and conducted the first ever virtual United Supreme Council. It was during this United Supreme Council that I was reclassified to Sovereign Grand Inspector General. I would also like to thank the illustrious Deputy of the Orient of Indiana, Sovereign Grand Inspector General, and Most Worshipful Past Grand Master Joseph Slade Jr., 33rd, for his wisdom, patience, and most of all, his integrity. I sincerely appreciate the time you have allotted me and the advice you have given. The shared experiences have painted a picture and placed the jurisdiction on the correct path of one Masonic family. Following the lead of the United Supreme Council, the Orient of Indiana conducted a virtual council of deliberation in September of 2020. The event was well attended by freighters from across the Orient, as well as the Northern jurisdiction. This year, the Orient of Indiana was allotted 4 nominations for the 33rd and final degree. Ancient Egyptian Arabic Order Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. The relationship between ancient craft masonry and the Ancient Egyptian Arabic Order Nobles of the Mystic Shrine in the jurisdiction of Indiana has strengthened over the past year. I am proud that our relationship, interactions, and collaborations have remained positive and have been based on mutual respect. First, let me extend my thanks to past Deputy of the Desert, past Potentate Jeffrey Peel of Tyree Temple number 129 for a job well done and for also promoting the message of one Masonic family. I would also like to take this moment to once again welcome the newly appointed Deputy of the Desert, past Potentate Danny McGee of El Zora Temple number 124. I look forward to relationship growth and the opportunity to show my continued support for the ancient Egyptian Arabic order nobles of the Mystic Shrine. Last, the first ever virtual desert conference was a huge success. Like so many new things we are forced to learn and experience, I appreciate the Deputy of the Desert for having the foresight to keep moving forward. General Grand Conference. This year's conference was slated to take place in Augusta, Georgia. However, it was canceled due to COVID-19. It is hoped that we can reconvene next year in Nassau, Bahamas. Conference of Grand Masters. This year's conference was slated to take place in Springfield, Massachusetts. However, it was canceled due to COVID-19. It is also hoped that we can reconvene next year in Schaumburg, Illinois. The jurisdiction of Indiana is slated to host the Conference of Grand Masters in the year of 2022. Midwest Regional Conference of Grand Masters and Masons. On March 25th, due to the COVID-19, the event was conducted via conference call. All 11 jurisdictions were present and unanimously voted that all Midwest Regional Conference officers retain their stations until next Midwest Regional Conference in 2021. The president, Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster Henry Willis of Missouri, Vice President, Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster Kempis Muhammad of Minnesota, Executive Secretary, Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster Daryl E. Morton Sr. of Indiana, Executive Treasurer, Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden Dorian Smith of Michigan. Other business discussed and voted on was the formation of 3 new committees: Health and Wellness, Most Worshipful Grandmaster Malcolm Morris of Missouri. He will chair that. Veteran Affairs, Most Worshipful Grandmaster Eugene Anderson Jr. of Indiana. And the IT Department, Most Worshipful Grandmaster Eugene Anderson of Indiana. Official acts, February 20th, 2019, edict number EAJR 001-2019, Algie Oldham Scholarship Raffle Support. July 31st, 2019, proclamation proclaiming Prince Hall Americanism Day on September 7th of 2019. August 2nd, 2019, resolution of respect to Brother Barrett C. Walker, 33rd KYCH and family. August 5th of 2019, Alpha Grand Court, Herons of Jericho, adoptive right to St. Andrew Grand Chapter Holy Royal Arch Masons. August 10th, letter to Wyndham Hotel for grand session billing. August 16th, 2019, resolution of respect to Brother William Jackson and family. August 30th, edict number EAJR 002-2019, bloodline dropped for OAS. September 15th, 2019, proclamation for fall workshop on November 2nd, 2019. September 23rd, 2019, letter of receipt to Ron Lewis. September 16th, 2019, resolution of respect to past master Howard Fisher to Wilson Lodge number 22. November 1st, 2019, edict number EAJR 003-2019, no Masonic rites were regaled in another house. November 1st, 2019, edict number EAJ 004-2019, 30-day notice to District Deputy Grand Masters before conferring degrees. That was sent to the lodges. December 27th, 2019, Most Worshipful Grand Master Chester C. Christie requesting assistance for York Rite Grand Bodies. November 27th, 2019, illustrious companion Thomas C. Graham requesting assistance for Royal and Select Masters. December 27th, 2019, Right Ex and Grand Commander B.N.T. Johnson requesting assistance for Knights Templar. December 30th, 2019, proclamation of Black History Program for February 22nd, 2020. January 2nd, 2020, Brother Robert Mays of Meridian Lodge number 33, chairman of the car raffle program. January 2nd, 2020, Brother Phil Burton of Central Lodge number 1, chairman of public relations. March 5th, 2020, 18 proposed amendments for the Grand Lodge Constitution. March 10th, 2020, established a Grand Lodge Board of Directors and appointed initial members. March 13th, 2020, communication regarding directives on COVID throughout jurisdiction. March 20th of 2020, suspension of all Masonic activities throughout the jurisdiction. March 30th, 2020, jurisdictional COVID communication, virtual meetings only. March 31st, 2020, open dispensation for lodges to conduct meetings virtually. April 4th, 2020, resolution of respect to brother John Du Bois of Meridian Lodge number 33. 30 May 2020, jurisdictional COVID communication, virtual meetings only. July 2nd, 2020, Young's title and abstract for Widow Sons Building Committee. July 2nd, 2020, jurisdictional COVID communication, virtual meetings only. August 30th of 2020, proclamation to lift ban on fundraising. September 4th of 2020, proclamation for Zoom Prince Hall Americanism Day. September 30th of 2020, summons Meridian Lodge number 33 to take place on November 5th of 2020. October 4th of 2020, proclamation for Technology Committee to assist with lodge elections for 2020. October 17th of 2020, information requested from Meridian Lodge number 33 for November 5th of 2020. October 18th, 2020, additional information requested from Meridian Lodge number 33 on November 5th for 2020. October 19th of 2020, response letter to Worshipful Master William Jackson of Southern Cross Lodge number 39, November 5th of 2020, Zoom summons for Meridian Lodge number 33. November 5th of 2020, Meridian Lodge placed on indefinite probation. November 5th of 2020, Brother Eugene Boyd, Galen Buckner, Logan Cameron, Anthony Carr, Gary Cole, Rufus Coleman, Samuel Davis, James Edwards, Willie Garrett, Roderick Graves, Keith Harding, Brandon Harper, Michael Hicks, J.C. Hill, Bryant Holt, Nathan Hornbuckle, Nathan Hornberger, William Hornbuckle, Logan Cameron, Craig Jones, Willie Jones, Walter Lee, Ryan Little, Keith Luss, Randy Mitchell, Albert Moore, Alvin Pinnell, George Phillips, Richard Qualls, Howard Reedus, Norman Reed, Eric Reed, Tommy Roper, Cameron Smith, Steve Smith, Robert Stevens, Norman Thomas, George Vaughn, Charles Walker, Willie Warren, Arliff Weaver, Dewey Williams, Frank Williams, James Hooton, and Galen Wright were all suspended for 60 days for failure to answer summons. Recommendations: that past master Danny Payne of Eureka Lodge number 30 be made emeritus for his many years of service on the Mortuary Relief Committee. That past master Leslie Raleigh of Trinity Lodge number 18 be bestowed the title of honorary past Grand Master for his 55 years of continuous service. That we continue to support the Midwest Conference of Grand Masters and Masons. That we continue to support the Conference of Grand Masters. That we continue to support the United Supreme Council. That we continue to support the Ancient Egyptian Arabic Order Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. That we continue to support the General Grand Conference. Listed below all that is my official visitations for the year being reported on. And let me go down to the last. My conclusion, brothers. Again, I am honored to have served the jurisdiction of Indiana as the 46th most worshipful Grand Master. I will be forever grateful to the craft for electing me to such a prestigious position. I have served this office to the best of my ability, and I sincerely hope that the craft can see that. My brothers, there is much uncertainty in society today. However, the one certainty that we do have is our love for the organization and for one another. Fraternally and respectfully, Eugene Anderson Jr., 33rd KYCH 46th Most Worshipful Grand Master. That concludes my annual address.
Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Sir.
If it's your permission, I would carry that motion.
Please do.
Brethren, you've heard the most eloquent, informative, and enlightening address of your Most Worshipful Grand Master. What is your pleasure at this time?
Worshipful past Grand Master.
Central Lodge number 1. Move that this splendid report coming from the Grand Master's address be accepted, all recommendations be complied with, and he be given a round of applause.
Past
Master Ahmed Berry from Central Lodge number 1, second.
Past Master White Keller.
Yeah, Richard
Richie, second.
9.
Worshipful Master Jonathan Vincent, second.
Right Worship Deputy Grand Master Kenny Washington, second.
Junior Warden Cedric Sanders, Southern Cross Lodge number 39, second.
Past Master Brian Robinson, Lakeside Lodge number 42nd, second.
Okay, we've had a
Past
number of
Master
seconds.
Robert Whitfield, Southern Cross Lodge number 39, second.
Let us submit those seconds to
Past
the
Master
secretary.
Ted Sizzle, Southern A Furnace
Save
Lodge
time.
number 61, second.
Also, if I may, brethren, the motion has been made and second. Addendum to that should have been turned into the hands of the audit of the committee on Grandmaster's address. With that change, can we accept that report to be turned into the hands of the committee on of the committee on the Grandmaster's address?
That by common consent, right?
Yes, we do, but common consent, the motion has been made with the
Consent.
addition to that, so we will now turn that report into
I
the
consent.
of the committee on Grandmaster's address. Grandmaster, thank you, and you have a great time.
Thank you.
Most worshipful Grandmaster.
Sir.
We have most worshipful past Grandmaster Donnie Johnson with his hand up.
Please recognize him.
Yes, most worshipful Grandmaster. I was just acknowledging that I need to be unmuted to give this report.
At this time, most worshipful past Grandmaster Donnie Johnson, Chairman on the Committee of Grandmaster Address, please proceed.
You do have a motion. Motion on the floor.
I probably can't carry that motion. Ted, most worshipful past Grandmaster Millard.
It has been motion second that the Grandmaster's address be turned into the hands of the committee on Grandmaster's address. You've heard the motion. Are there any questions? There being none, I declare the motion carried.
We still need to vote on it, gentlemen. There you go.
While we wait, it has came up.
It's there, Grant.
Thank you, brothers. We had a lot to go over. At this time, did we have? Oh, for the committee on the Grandmaster address, Right Worshipful Deputy Grandmaster, Brother Kenny Washington.
Yes, sir, Grandmaster.
From this point, I need to turn the gavel over to you for the report on the Grandmaster's address from, I believe it's most worshipful past Grandmaster Johnny Johnson. Because it involves me, I cannot carry that.
Yes, sir. I'm prepared. Okay, at this time, we will hear the report on the Grandmaster's address from most worshipful past Grandmaster Donnie Johnson.
164th Annual Communication via Zoom, November 7th, 2020. To the most worshipful Grandmaster Eugene Anderson Jr., most worshipful past Grandmasters, Right Worshipful Deputy Grandmaster Kenneth A. Washington, Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden William Robinson, Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden Kenneth Jackson Sr., past Grandmasters, all elected and appointed Grand Lodge officers, worshipful masters, past masters, wardens, brethren, and distinguished guests. The Committee on the Grand Master's address begs leave to make the following report. The most worshipful Grand Master Eugene Anderson Jr. began his Grand Master's address by greeting all present at this 164th Annual Grand Communication by quoting the scriptures from Romans chapter 12, verses 16 through 17, the New International Version. After having the Right Worshipful Grand Chaplain invoke the blessings of deity upon this 164th Annual Grand Communication, the most Worshipful Grand Master rendered a most eloquent and thorough Grand Master's address. He expressed in his address the state of the nation, which included the COVID-19 pandemic, continued social injustice, an outcome of the 2020 presidential election, and the 2020 census. The Grand Master next reported on the state of the state, then numerology, acknowledging that the grand architect of the universe summoned 26 souls to a place where who's born no traveler returns. He then reported on the state of the order in detail, explaining issues from aforementioned and unforeseen circumstances, which encompassed our highs and our lows, and that in spite of the turbulent past 15 months, the state of the order is good. He reported on the Grand East and gave thanks to the Public Relations Committee, the Grand Lodge officers elected and appointed, and to the most wishful past Grand Masters. He further reported on the adopted body Order of the Eastern Stars and the appended and concordant bodies, reporting that due to the COVID-19, the General Grand Conference and the Conference of Grand Masters was canceled, and noted that the Midwest Regional Conference of Masters and Masons was conducted via a conference call with all the 11 jurisdictions present. In conclusion of his address, the Most Wishful Grand Master expressed his honor to have served the jurisdiction of Indiana as a 46th Most Wishful Grand Master, and will be forever grateful to the craft for electing him to such a prestigious position. The official acts, edicts, dispensations, and travels were so noted in his address for acceptance. In closing, the Grand Master's recommendation for approval are as follows.
Item number 1, that past Master Danny Payne of Eureka Lodge number 30 be made emeritus for his many years of service on the Mortuary Relief Committee.
We concur.
Number 2, that past Master Leslie Rowley of Trinity Lodge number 18 be restored the title of honorary past master for his 55 years of continued service.
We concur.
Number 3, that we continue to support the Midwest Conference of Grand Masters and Masons.
We concur.
Number 4, that we continue to support the Conference of Grand Masters.
We concur.
Number 5, that we continue to support the United Supreme Council.
We concur.
Number 6, that we continue to support the Asian accepted or Arab nobles on this side of North and South America.
We concur.
Number 7, that we start supporting the General Grand Conference.
We concur.
I'm a submitted Donnie L. Johnson, Most Wishful Past Grand Master Chairman, Theodore K. Millard Sr., Most Wishful Past Grand Master, Joseph Slade Jr., Most Wishful Past Grand Master, McMurphy Hughes, Most Wishful Past Grand Master. That ends the Grand Master Committee's report.
Thank you, sir. Brethren, you've heard that excellent report coming from the committee on the Grand Master's address. What is your pleasure?
Kenneth Jackson, Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden, move that we accept this outstanding report.
Deputy Grand Master.
Past Master, second.
It has been properly moved and second that we accept the report as coming from the Committee on the Grand Master's address. And gentlemen, I think someone had to put in that motion that we accept the recommendations per the committee's report. So you,
I second that.
Warden, would you like to amend that
Yes.
motion?
Yes, I amend that we accept the recommendations as well by the committee.
And I second.
Okay.
Okay, it has been properly moved and second that we accept this excellent report coming from the Committee on the Grand Master's Address and concur with the recommendations per the direction of the Audit Committee. Is there a question? Is there a question? There being none, let's receive this by accept the report by yea or nay, as seen on your screen. Okay, you see that the yeas have 98.8 and nays 1.2% of the vote. At this time, so the report is accepted and the recommendations will be followed. Grand Master, I'm turning it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, brothers. At this time, I will turn the gavel over to, I believe it's going to be most worshipful past Grand Master Theodore K. Millard, Sr. for nominations.
Thank you, most worshipful Grand Master. Brethren, you've heard the report and everything from the most worshipful Grand Master. Now it comes to election time. Normally we would declare all stations vacant, but we know we're in the pandemic and what we're going through, so we're not going to do, we're going to have our election. We know that from the Secretary's report, there are 104 voting members present, so 53 would be a majority. Let's begin with the office of most worshipful Grand Master. Who will you have for your nominee?
Most worshipful past Grand Master.
Right, most worshipful past Grand Master Donnie Johnson.
I, past Master of Donnie Johnson of St. Peter's Lodge number 31, would like to offer a motion that the top ranking line officers and including the treasurer and secretary retain their office for the year of 2021.
You've heard the motion by most worshipful past Grand Master Donnie Johnson. Can I get a second?
Lakeside Lodge.
Second. I second.
It has been properly motioned and second that the line officers along with the secretary and treasurer be retained in the office for the ensuing year of 2021. You've heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? Those in favor by use of sign of voting. Question.
Past Master Clarence Thomas of North Star Lodge would like to have the office of Secretary, Grand Secretary open up for nominations. If you don't mind, please, sir.
It's the will and pleasure of the craft. If they, decide not to accept it, they can vote it down and ask that they. Now you're just saying the first 5 officers.
Yes.
They're okay. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
Okay, so if we get a motion on the first 5 line officers to be elected, then we could deal with the other 2 separate nominations.
Most worshipful past Grand Master.
Yes, sir.
He referenced the Grand Secretary, which is one of the top 5. So
you're right. You're right.
So technically, someone would either have to amend their motion for. I would say, well, I'm part of the motion, but I would just say at this point we could take a motion for the top 3 or top 4 or for all of them except for Grand Secretary at this point.
Okay. Donnie, can we get you to amend your motion?
I will amend my motion to the top 4 line officers and the treasurer.
Okay, you heard the amendment. Is there a second?
Second. I pass Master Robert Whitfield second.
It has been properly motioned second that the 4 top line officers be elected unanimously and that past Master, the Grand Secretary, Tyree be voted on separately. All in favor of the motion stated?
Clarification, that included the treasurer also.
Right, the treasurer. That would be let's see.
4.
It
That would be 4.
That would be 5. That would include the most worshipful Grand Master, the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, the
Senior.
Grand Senior Warden, Grand Junior Warden, and the Treasurer.
That's 5.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Correct.
Okay, so the correct number is 5, that those 5 be retained unanimously. Those in favor of the motion as stated by the usual sign of voting. Those opposed have the same right. There being no response, can I accept that as the motion was carried and that we don't have to vote on the Right Worshipful Grand Secretary?
There it is. There it is.
Okay, do we have a count on that yet?
We do, past Grandmaster. I just have one question.
Go ahead.
My understanding is if one person said nay in the previous election, it made us have to host all the, does this apply to this one as well? I'm going to share. I'm asking a question.
Well, in this one, if
I
everybody,
thought 54 would carry, right?
So my question is, does that mean that we now have to do them all individually?
53 would carry.
let's do this to keep peace and order in the crowd. Let us go back to normal way we do one at a time. Is that Past Master Donnie Johnson, would that be acceptable with you? You want to withdraw your motions?
I will withdraw my motion.
And the seconds are also considered withdrawn.
Okay,
brother, we'll do this. We'll vote on them one by one. Number one, who you have as your most worshipful Grand Master for the ensuing year of 2021?
Past Master Willie Wilson, centralized number 1, nominate past Grand Master Eugene Anderson.
John Ritchie.
Past Master Dwight
Past
Keller,
Master.
Floyd Lodge number 23. Second nominating Grand Master Eugene Anderson Jr.
There's no
You
second.
don't second, you don't make the nominations.
Are there any more nominations? Any more nominations? For the
No.
third time, I declare the nominations closed on Eugene Anderson for the most worshipful Grand Master for the ensuing year. Next would be the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, Kenneth Washington.
I nominate the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, Brother Kenny Washington, for the position of Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master for the ensuing year of 2021.
Okay, let me do this. Past Master Kenneth Washington has been nominated for the position of Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master for 2021. Are there any more nominations? Are there any more nominations? For the third time, I declare the nominations closed. Next nomination will be the Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden. Past Master
Brian Robinson, Lakeside Lodge number 47. I nominate past Master William Robinson as Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden.
You've heard the nomination, William Robinson, Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden. Are there any more nominations? Any more nominations? For the third time, I declare the nominations closed. Next, we will have our Grand Junior Warden. Who will you have for your Grand Junior Warden?
I, John Ritchie, nominate Kenneth Jackson for Grand Junior Warden.
Past Master Kenneth Jackson has been nominated. Are there any more nominations? Any more nominations? Any more nominations for the third time? I declare the nominations closed. We'll go on down and see, we have, okay, our secretary is next, I believe.
Treasurer.
Treasurer.
Okay, our treasurer's next. Who you have nominated for your treasurer for the ensuing year of 2021 and 22?
I nominate Donald Suggs, Kenneth Jackson, Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden.
Past Master Suggs has been nominated as Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden. Are there any more nominations?
This is the treasurer.
Treasurer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We already got the junior warden, right with some grand treasurer. Thank you. Are there any more nominations?
I don't know what Maze is doing.
Any more nominations? I declare the nominations closed. Now we come down to Grand Secretary.
Clarence Thomas Jr., past master North Star Lodge number 3, nominate Teddy Burks for Grand Secretary.
Teddy Burks has been nominated for Grand Secretary. Are there any more nominations? Ted
Past
Burks
Master
has
Ted
been nominated. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Past Master Ted Siddle nominate Tyree McGraw.
Okay, past masters McGraw and Birch have been nominated for Right Worshipful Grand Secretary. Are there any more nominations?
I don't know. I said old Mr.
Most worshipful past Grand Master Donnie Johnson, past Master Cornell Merle. I'm sorry, Ted Millard. Past Master Cornell Merle, placing the name of past Master Vincent Sykes.
Okay, we have past master Sykes, past master Tyree McGraw, and past master Ted Burks. Are there any more nominations for the office of Right Worshipful Grand Secretary?
Clarence.
Are there any more nominations? For the third time, are there any more nominations? I declare the nominations closed. We'll close on that. I believe now we move on to the Grand Trustees. Am I correct?
We have to vote, don't we?
No, we got to vote. Do they accept the nominations?
All right. Past Master Ted Burks, do you accept the nomination?
I'll accept the nomination.
Okay, past Master Tyree, would you accept the nominations?
Yes, I accept the nomination.
And the last brother, what was the last name?
Past Master Sykes.
Past Master Sykes. Past Master Sykes, you accept the nomination?
Yes, I accept the nomination.
Okay, so the three have accepted, and we'll move on. Since they will be candidates for the ballot box, we can move on to the I believe the trustees. Am I right?
Past Grand, do you want to do the vote? We can pop it up on the screen and let the brothers vote. If there's no majority, we can have a runoff, but we're prepared to do it right now.
Okay, we can do it. I was going to do one vote, but how we going to do it?
Oh well, that would be hard to do one vote with those three.
Okay.
So I think we need to do those separate. Most worshipful past Grand Master.
Okay, let's do that, my brother, and then we'll get the results from that. Then we'll move on.
Okay. Brother Robert Mays, I have that on the screen momentarily, gentlemen. There you go.
I don't know what he means. Oh, here you go. There you go. Where you get my picture on your screen?
Those we have reached.
Yeah, Vincent's calling. Yeah, worship. Hi.
We've reached 92. We do not have a majority. I'll share that.
Okay. That
would be
the
results, brother. Not to give you the actual numbers. What we have is 46, 18, and 27.
Can we see it?
Percentages are 51. That 51% is not a actual 51. That's 46 votes, 18 votes, and 27 votes. So there looks like if we are going through the usual rules, we'll have a runoff with Right Worshipful Tyree McGraw and past Master Vincent Sykes.
Okay, I believe you're telling me that no one got a majority of the votes cast, so we have to have a runoff between the two highest vote getters.
Yes, sir. I'll set that up. I'll set that up right now. It'll take me about 1 minute to get it done.
No problem.
Please repeat the number amount of the three candidates.
The candidate, Tyree McGraw, 46 votes.
Sykes is a member of Trinity.
Past Master Ted Birch, 18 votes. Past Master Vincent Sykes, 27 votes.
Past master.
Thank you.
Past master. This is the deputy grand master here. Past master.
Sorry.
Past master who, deputy?
I was talking to Bob.
He's not a past master. He's a junior warden.
Oh yeah, that's.
What I'm
I mean,
We make mistakes.
I should address it to Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster Millard.
Yes, sir.
Based on what they're saying, Tyree McGraw had 50.5%. That's more than half.
I know the original count was 104 votes. 53 would be a majority.
So just out of clarity, just for everyone's edification, are we going off of the 104 from the original, or are we going off what is currently in the room that can cast a vote? I'm just curious.
In the room.
Right, we'd have to go with the actual vote cast.
Okay. Okay.
So how many actual votes do we
That's
have?
40, that's 46. If you add the 18 and the 27, that's 45.
Because if I can remind you of the instruction that the Past Master Cornell Murrow was explaining this in the beginning. When you look at your participants number, it's not reflective of your actual numbers because of the way the tech team is set up.
Let's see.
Okay,
So you want to remember that there are 4 other voting people in the room, as well as when you look at Corlin, he is not actual a voter.
Okay. So let's do a runoff.
So you're saying 46 now is over half of the actual voting strength that we have that voted?
46, 18, and 20. Didn't you say 27?
27, that would be 45.
Well,
that was not 100% of those in the room.
That's right.
Everybody didn't vote.
Everybody didn't vote.
That's right.
Actually, I'm sorry, Robert. There were only 92 people in the room when the vote
I'm
was
telling you,
cast,
I can see.
including
Let's
me.
instead of let me share this, because what we don't want to do is get into a back and forth.
I got my phone.
What I can see on this side is the actual number, and when I shared that, it said 97% had voted. It was not 100%. So
Not 100%. Maybe a little
I'm
long
only sharing
enough.
what I see on this end.
Well, the only thing that left, if it's not what you want.
Run off.
Please let the
Gentlemen,
team
just thank you for that, Past Grant Rogers. It's
okay,
brothers. We got the numbers. The Grandmaster said we're going to do a runoff. Let's just do a runoff and we'll be done with it.
Okay,
Bob, you ready to post those numbers? I mean, post that.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, could you prepare the runoff of the two?
I think we're ready, Past Grant. Go ahead, Bob.
Okay.
So now that we have an actual majority, I'll share this. I'm going to stop it. And there's your result.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, brother, you see the results. The report shows that Tyree has won the nomination for secretary for the ensuing year. There being nothing else on this election. He's made it, so we need to move on now to our.
Hey, Ted.
Yeah.
Ted, I have a question.
Yeah.
See, if we you just accepted nominations on the first 5, and we didn't vote on it on the nominations. What are we gonna do there?
Somebody's phone is ringing.
Nobody contested the nominations, Joe.
Those
There
first
being no
five ran
contested-
unopposed.
They ran unopposed.
Ran unopposed. They
You still
automatically
had to
go in.
have something to so
Okay, hey, okay, hold on, brothers, hold on. We are ready, and past Grandmaster Millard, if it's your will, if you would like those individual positions to pop up on the screen for the Grandmaster to satisfy past Grandmaster Rogers' request, we can do that. But none of them, they did run unopposed, but it's your call. You let us know what you want us to do. We're prepared to put those up on the screen and let the brothers vote.
By them run unopposed, it's automatically accepted by the crowd.
That sounds good with me, past Grand. All right. So who we on now?
Should be the trustees.
Trustee. Is it the 3-year trustee? We just need to know so we can get it set up.
Grand trustees, who's coming off of that list?
Hey, I so move that the remaining elected Grand Lodge officers retain their stations for the ensuing year of 2021.
I second that motion. I second that motion. Past Master Donnie Johnson.
It has been properly motioned and second that the remaining officers retain their stations for the ensuing year of 2021. All in favor of the motion as stated by the usual sign of voting. Those opposed have the same right.
Y'all need to put it up on the screen.
It's coming.
Come.
Well, they didn't do it for the first 5, so we don't do it here either.
Always got something to say.
I'm with you. Hey,
we can accept it as it is because we know it's been carried. And
Grandmaster.
Do they all accept?
Okay, this is Slay. Can we mute the participants so we can have less conversation and more proficiency in what we're doing?
Tag team.
Well, we're participants.
I'm muting now.
We're participants. We should have our say.
Okay, the vote has been sent and should have been resubmitted, so we should have an official answer in a few seconds.
All right.
Okay, most worshipful Grandmaster, it has been accepted 100%. We've carried out what I've been assigned to do. It's now back into your hands at this time.
Thank you. At this point in time, thanks everyone for participating in our elections. At this time, we've received the results. I'm going to ask Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster McMurphy Hughes if you can install the officers. Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster McMurphy Hughes.
Grandmaster,
Yes, sir.
you made Danny Payne emeritus. Are you going to replace him or are you still going to leave him on?
Yep, I'll take care of it. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster McMurphy Hughes. I need a Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster to install the officers at this point in time.
Donnie Johnson.
Donnie, Most Worshipful Past Grandmaster Donnie Johnson.
Most wishful Grandmaster.
You have been summoned, sir.
Yes, sir. All elected officers, if you would say aye and repeat your name.
Aye.
Aye, Michael Chappelle.
By the power vested in me, I now install you to your elected office, and that you will promise and swear to uphold the duties of your office to the best of your ability.
I so swear.
I so swear.
I so swear.
Now installed.
Thank you. We have been duly installed into our office for the ensuing year of 2021. I would first like to say, everyone, thank you for participating. At this point in time, I will ask for final remarks. I will start with the tech team.
Thank you, Most Worshipful Grandmaster. Again, brothers, I'm Past Master Cornell Murrow. I'm the very proud chairman of these talented brothers that you have before you. that has been diligently working for the past 2 or 3 weeks trying to get our Grand Lodge together. You guys might have heard me earlier take a little jab at my friend and my most worshipful Grand Master about when he couldn't, when he was having problems with his address. Brothers, that was just a little jab that I took at him about user error. And I just want to say publicly that, you know, Grandmaster know he's my friend. No malice intent. Obviously, those that know me know there was no malice intent, but I just wanted to publicly say that. And also to say that, man, you guys don't do this on a daily basis. I live this. I've been in IT for over 25 years. So I live this stuff. It is what I do, but it's not what everyone else does. So, you know, you got to keep it lighthearted, because technology will drive you crazy because it's constantly changing. So I appreciate you, brothers, for being steadfast and working with us. If we can keep Mike Chappelle's phone on mute, that would be great. But I really appreciate you brothers working with us. So without a further ado, man, let me introduce these talented brothers, man. We have first Corlin Kilpatrick. He's the smart guy on the team. He belongs to Meridian Lodge number 33. He critiques everything that we do or send out. He rewrites everything for us, so we make sure it's done in a correct grammatical manner. We got Past Master Ted Birch, my good brother from St. John's number 8. He is on the tech team as well, and he's the one who's been sharing all the stuff earlier today that we've been viewing. So I appreciate you, Ted. We have Worshipful Master Timothy Edwards from Waterford Lodge, number 13. I work with Tim in a lot of other houses, so he's the one who will kick you out if you don't have your camera on. Yeah, that is Tim. We have Past Master Vincent Sykes. I work with him in other houses as well. Another good addition to this team. He's the one who sent out the email last night from Grand Lodge, and he's done a lot of stuff with the Cash App and PayPal and stuff. So he is a very integral part of this team as well. A couple people we didn't have on earlier. We didn't have brother. I don't know if Bledsoe's in another room. He may have had to work. Daryl Bledsoe. He's the one who did the flyer that I posted yesterday on the Grand Lodge website. We have Past Master David Fredericks. I gave him the day off. It is his anniversary today, and we have what I call the Zoom czar, man, and that is Brother Robert Mays, man. That dude. He belongs to Meridian Lodge number 33. He wants to be a Southern Cross, but he belongs to Meridian Lodge number 33. But that dude knows Zoom in and out, man. So let me assure you, man, you guys think this is all me. I can assure you and publicly tell you it is not. This is a collective effort. It takes a host of all of us in order to pull these things off. So hopefully I haven't missed anybody. Tim, I missed anybody this time?
No, I don't think so. I didn't realize I was on mute. I mean, off mute laughing.
All right. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. That's all I have. Thank you, Most Worshipful Grandmaster.
Hey, Corn, I got a quick question.
Sir.
Did you want a second to that motion about Chappelle?
I will take a second and a third, Marshall. Thank you, sir.
I really need to cut it out.
At this time, I would ask, is any Most Worshipful Past Grand Master, I cannot see everybody, but no specific order. If the Most Worshipful Past Grand Masters have anything to bring.
Most Worshipful Grand Master Theodore K. Millard Sr. I just want to thank you for allowing me to hold this election. It's a little bit different. You get a little confused, but we got through it. And thank you and the other brothers. I want to thank the elected officers. And I know they're going to do a great job in this ensuing year. And I definitely want to thank your tech committee because they work with me in some things that are hard to do when you don't know nothing. But I want to thank each and every one. And I pray that everyone will go through this in the rest of the year and be safe in this time of this vital epidemic. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Any other Most Worshipful Past Grand Master?
Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Yes, sir.
Joseph Slade Jr., St. Luke Lodge number 43. I should say St. Luke James 43. Just want to add my voice to the greatness of what I'm seeing in this jurisdiction, that this virus has allowed us to use our creativity and our ability to think out of the box and move forward and really do some things that we have never done before. And so that let us know that as long as we're able to use our mind, that we will never be closed in by anything that come unexpectedly our way. And I just want to let the brothers know that I'm proud to be a part of this that is going on in this jurisdiction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Most worshipful Grandmaster.
Joseph Roger, yes, sir.
Joseph Raj, yes, I'd like to just make my comments and say that I really enjoyed what our team did and everything. And I want to give a second appreciation to the Deputy Grand Master for allowing me to be a part of this, because I did not receive anything as far as a link. And we were thinking that everyone that registered would receive something, an email or something like that for a link. But the deputy did that for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
We owe the deputy. Well, I'll get with the deputy about giving you the information which allowed you to come. He was supposed to not send it to you. Any other most worshipful past Grandmaster?
Most worshipful Grandmaster.
Yes, sir.
Past Master Donnie Johnson, St. Peter's Lodge number 31. I just want to commend you on a session well orchestrated. To the I team, a fantastic job. And I just want to say that I'm glad to have been here to be part of this historic event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other most worshipful past?
Most worshipful past Grandmaster, Daryl Morton, Meridian Lodge. I would just like to thank you and wish you a successful session. The technology team is outstanding. I think that with the knowledge that we have, the sky's the limit on what we can do in masonry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Most worshipful Grandmaster, past Grandmaster Clyde Bailey. I'd like to first congratulate you and your cabinet on the 164th annual communication. A job well done. Also, your tag team, they did a beautiful job. And I'd like to congratulate the newly elected officers and looking forward to working with them next year. And to past Master Cornell Mara, that thing you said about the Grandmaster, we all know.
Yes, sir. Past Grand.
Fair enough. Any other most worshipful past Grandmaster?
Most worshipful Grandmaster.
Yes, sir.
Past Grandmaster James Hill. I would like to congratulate you and your cabinet, and hopefully you have a great year. And ask the Lord to bless this jurisdiction and keep us safe from the virus. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Most worshipful Grandmaster.
Yes,
on
sir.
behalf of Most worshipful past Grandmaster Murphy Hughes, he did not respond because he had to get out of session to go to Indianapolis for a funeral in his family.
Yes, sir. Thank you. At this time, the Right Worshipful Grand Secretary. We'll start with the cabinet.
Most
Right
worshipful
Worship.
Grandmaster,
Yes, sir.
Grandmaster, I'd like to thank you, congratulate you on the job well done, and congratulations everybody, and that's basically all I have.
Thank you, sir. The Right Worshipful Grand Treasurer. Brother Suggs.
Congratulations, worshipful Grandmaster. I'd like to thank the craft of this Grand Lodge for allowing me the opportunity to continue to serve as the Grand Treasurer. Would like to give kudos to the tech team. I'm on some other organizations that have this Zoom meetings going on, and you guys did a fantastic job. You blew them out of the water. Guys did a great job. Appreciate everything you did.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Right Worshipful Grand Junior Warden.
Congratulations, Grandmaster, and the rest of the cabinet. I want to thank the craft for allowing me to serve you once again. And I want to say to the tech team, outstanding job. You are so impressive. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Right Worshipful Grand Senior Warden, Brother William Robinson.
Thank you, Grandmaster. I would also like to
congratulations. First of all, I'd like to also thank the membership for having faith in us and retaining us in the positions. And I would also like to say to the brethren, stay committed to this organization. We're going through, this is going to be the new norm. For some of us that have been around for a while, it's challenging dealing with the technology. But I mean, you have the tech team to support, you know, us when we don't know. So please do not give up on supporting this organization. Thank you, Grandmaster.
You're welcome, sir. Our Right Worshipful Deputy Grandmaster, Brother Kenny Washington.
Thank you, Grandmaster. First of all, I want to thank you, Grandmaster, for the leadership that you've shown in this jurisdiction during this time, perilous time, you know, transition and everything. I want to thank you for being a mentor to me and helping me make myself better. I want to also thank that outstanding tech team for a job well done. And you've been doing that all year. I mean, this just didn't start with this. I mean, some members might not be able to see it, but it has happened. It's an outstanding technical team that we have. I also want to thank, you know, all the cabinet members for the meetings and everything that we've had. That includes the past grants. They have been a part of our cabinet meetings this year and participated well. And I thank you for that. The other thing is congratulations to all of the members of this jurisdiction who attended this today and who elected me to continue to serve in this capacity. In the name of God, thank you.
Thank you. And I sincerely appreciate the craft electing me as your most worshipful Grandmaster going into the year of 20 and 21. This is a hard job. This is a hard job.
Amen.
There are no decisions that are going on now that are easy. In fact, most are extremely difficult to make because we're operating outside the norm. So any deviation from any past practices are always going to be challenged because we are not very receptive to change as people. We don't like authority. And you're placing the leaders of your lodges and of the jurisdiction in positions where they must make decisions that are in the best interest of the jurisdiction. No one person, no one lodge, and no one district is greater than this jurisdiction. And I need people to understand that. We've gotten away from it takes a village to raise a child, but it's taken this jurisdiction to raise a Grandmaster. And I sincerely appreciate each one of you for your hard work, for your patience with me, for your dedication and fortitude to our order. It's not the same order. And I need people to understand that. We're different from where we were 50 and 60 years ago. We're different from where we were last year. So please be receptive to change. Please adhere to the guidance that is being placed out. We're all learning this together. Nothing's going to be perfect right now. It wasn't perfect before. And as we continue to move forward, it still won't be perfect. But I promise you that the decisions that are being made are in the best interest of the longevity of our organization. Mutual respect and conformity are needed in order for us to prosper as a jurisdiction. Last year, for the last 2 years, I've been saying we got to learn to laugh and smile more. It's probably more important now than ever before. We got to make light of things, but still conduct business. My first business for 2021 is to remove Cornell Murrow from Prince Hall Mason, the jurisdiction of Indiana. Make light of things, right? We got to laugh. We got to smile. We got to learn to embrace each other. To the craft. We do nothing without you, brothers. And everything we do is for you, brothers. And I need you to understand that. I need you to understand how important you are to the leadership of this organization. Your safety, as well as the safety of your family, is at the forefront of the leadership of this organization. And although we want to embrace each other in the lodges, we want to be able to do certain things, we cannot do it when the safety of our membership is at risk. To the tech team, I don't even know what to say about you brothers, except y'all are unbelievable. Y'all are the heart of this organization right now. Y'all are what pumping the blood through this organization to keep us operating. And it is extremely important that we continue to communicate in a manner that is conducive, effective, and receptive to the members of this jurisdiction. Brothers, you got to be the exact same in receiving information. The tech team, I sincerely commend you, brothers, for hard work. You did an outstanding job. And as I stated early, there is no perfection. We could probably get to the mute button a lot sooner on some people, but there is no perfection. And I sincerely appreciate you, brothers. Our organization is based on respect and charity and relief. Sometimes the charity has to start here at home, and we have to understand that. To the cabinet, you brothers make me look good. And I only ask that you brothers continue to be vocal. Please let the craft know where we stand as leaders of this organization on important issues. On important issues. The craft needs to understand that. They need to know where we're at. As most worshipful Grand Master of the jurisdiction of Indiana, it's been my esteemed honor and pleasure at times to be Grand Master. We have to learn to conform, brothers. Please learn to conform. I sincerely thank you all. I sincerely wish you all the absolute best that life can bring. But most importantly, I sincerely wish you and your family great health as we battle this pandemic. As I leave you with simply this. Let's learn to love. Let's learn to be grateful, and let's learn to do the things that we can do and not worry about the things that we cannot do. Thank you all with much respect. Brother, Deputy Grand Master, Brother Kenny Washington.
Yes, sir.
Can you please close?
Worshipful Master, Reverend Barry.
I'm sorry. Kenny, I'm sorry. Can you give us a prayer first and then close us out?
Worshipful Master, Reverend Barry Spencer, are you still on the phone? No Barry Spencer. Reverend,
most watchful Deputy Grand Master, I will be able to give a prayer.
Brother Mark Perry, you can do it.
Yes, sir. Brothers, may we bow our heads. Gracious and divine creator, we thank you for this day that you provided us. We thank you for the leadership given by our most worshipful Grand Master and all those that are under his direct authority, Lord. We thank you for all the brethren present here today. Always continue to remind us that brotherly love, truth, and relief are the tenets and virtues of our order. And may we practice these things not just by word, but most importantly by deed. And as we exit this meeting, dear Lord, even though we're not physically together, allow our spirits to always to be able to maintain and resound with one another, but most importantly with you. Thank you for all things that are done good in your sight. All these things we ask in your unspoken name. Amen.
Amen.
So mote it be.
Mote it be.
Amen. So would it be.
May the blessings of heaven rest upon us and all reclamation. May brotherly love prevail and every moral and social virtue submit us. Amen.
So mote it be.
Motivate.
Brothers, waiving all signs and ceremony, I now declare this 164th virtual grand session to be closed until our next regular communication, unless especially convened, in which emergency due and timely notice will be given take due notice and govern yourself accordingly. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Take
care, be safe.
Love you, brothers.
Good afternoon, brothers.
Good afternoon. Everybody stay safe out there.
Love you.
We have a 46th president.
Yeah. Hey,
We
where's
have
the
the
46 on some chicken?
Joe Biden has been confirmed the next president-elect.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, great job on the tech team.
Just one Pennsylvania.
Right on, baby.
273.
Great job, tech team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good job, as usual, tech team.
Good job, guys.
Take care,
Thank you,
brothers.
gents.
Go Steelers.
Brother, stay light.
Go Steelers.
Did I hear somebody say go Steelers?
Have a great afternoon. Everybody got jokes.
Watch out, Poindexter.
That was just an accident. He didn't really mean that.
He didn't mean it.
Everybody have a good day.
Good job, guys.
Because I need your help with something.
Huh? Man, you know I'm off to like Tuesday, but what's up?
It's not gonna be today. I'm not gonna call you today. I got other
Oh,
stuff.
okay.